This week we're joined again by three-peater Nick Orlando as well as Big Red for the first in a two-part episode. Enjoy.
When I went to Vegas, we hung out at the pool, and there were like tons of insanely hot girls around at the hotel, and I didn't take off my shirt the whole time. Like
Did you swim?
I did take it off for swimming, but I took it off like right before I entered the actual pool, and then just only my head is above water the whole time.
Because no one can see through the water, so it's really...
Nico, what's your shirt policy?
Oh, I go without a shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty skinny. I'm self-conscious about how skinny I am, but that's easier than being
I
self-conscious.
can remember
about
at
being
one
fat.
time being self-conscious about how skinny I was.
And you're also not pale, like in the slightest
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
You tan well.
Yeah, that's another reason to keep the shirt off.
Yeah.
You
This is
sicken
the
me.
summer without the farmer's tan.
I get a farmer's tan, but it's like no one can tell that I'm tan until I show them how white the rest of me is. And then they're like, oh, wow.
Just take that shirt sleeve up a little bit.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all it takes.
Going home alone
Right
tonight.
up to the shoulder.
Red is a big red monster. He's like that Looney Tunes guy. Remember the Looney Tunes monster?
The one that cut hair?
No. Did he? I don't
He
know.
cut
He was
his own
just a
hair.
big red hair thing.
Something about
Oh,
cutting
I
hair.
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That
You
guy's
should go for that guy for Halloween.
That guy's got nothing on how hairy I am. I don't know.
Really? Fred's got the carpet.
One thing is
Does it match
self-conscious,
the
though.
race? Red?
I was in Spokane, and I got some guy, they had garb from Cruzan rum, and so he gave me this, like, sailor hat and then this tank top, and I don't wear tank tops. I was like, dude, I'm never going to wear this.
I don't know that I've ever worn a tank
I don't
top.
like tank tops. I'm self-conscious on that.
Yeah.
They're so comfortable, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to wear them around the house. Even downstairs for a cigarette.
Yeah.
I wore one this morning when I went out for a cigarette.
Yeah.
My nipples are hanging out. And just so bad
really
and gross
old tank top,
looking.
though,
Yeah.
that's like
Oh,
all
yeah.
baggy on you
It
still.
is super baggy.
I stayed a few paces away from the whole
My
time.
breasts still show through.
That are sleeveless shirts. I love people that rip the sleeves off a
Oh.
t-shirt.
I've
That is
got a
trash.
couple shirts I ripped the sleeves off. Those are
Yeah.
also very comfortable.
Oh, I believe it, yeah.
Really?
I'll just go
What
shirtless.
is it about like a t-shirt sleeve, let's say? That's only a couple of inches of
Well,
fabric.
it's only like certain T-shirts, the ones that wear really well anyway.
Yeah.
Like I have a golf one with a lady golfer on it,
I've
and I
seen
have
it.
a rock paper
Is it a
scissors
girl's
one.
golf shirt? Is that why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it says "Who says it takes balls to play golf?"
Was that that sounds like a thrift store find to me.
Oh yeah, big time.
yeah.
But it was the most comfortable T-shirt ever.
You got it at Pro Golf discount.
So after a long time, I cut the sleeves off and I wear it in the summer. It's so great.
Yeah, but never outside, right?
Yeah, well, not if I'm going somewhere, but outside, sure. Go
You
out
should
there
wear
with
it
a
to
book.
work. Like have it as your undershirt at
I
work,
do.
so that way you can like bend over. People will be able to read it still.
I have
Shirt.
I wear it as my undershirt at work when I have to walk to work because it's so hot that I wear the sleeveless all the way to work, and then I throw on my work shirt.
Why the undershirt at all then?
Well, I'm not going to walk shirtless all the way to work.
We've already covered this.
I just don't want to
No,
be
no,
wearing
I'm
my
saying-
work shirt. My work shirt is black polyester,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
so I wear a sleeveless all the way there.
No, the best is when you could wear the white shirt and then have it like the lettering underneath that people could still read. But,
Oh,
like
yeah.
if you're just standing there, but you have to
Oh.
like kind of stretch it out a little bit. So like when you bend over to get something, they can read it. I have a shirt that says "Heavy Fucking Metal." I used to love wearing it underneath white shirts.
Yeah. So where should we start? What stories do we have?
How do you know Red? Red, how do you know PJ?
Well, it was late one night. We were in a bar drinking a lot, and we went home together. Ever since then, we've been good friends.
It's not
It's-
true. I was a young little guy. Red took me under his wing. Red used to be a Jehovah's Witness, so he knew all about
That's right.
like, our Yakima family.
Yeah.
So you knew our cousins.
It was a
then?
lot of fun. I had
knew-
friends who we lived with at the time. Nick and I were living in this house with Randy and Ben. And, like, Randy would always be telling me how I can't be your friend and
Yeah,
stuff like
dude,
that.
I was the bad influence.
I was like, whatever. He's a totally nice guy. And he's like, well, give him a hug as soon as he gets reinstated. I don't think he's interested in that.
I'm gonna be waiting for that too. Like as soon as I get reinstated,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
He
It's
better.
any day now, isn't it?
I haven't hugged you yet.
That's actually a term, like within the religion, like you're reinstated again, or
Yeah.
like,
Right. Once
Yeah.
you're disfellowshipped, you can be reinstated.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's
It's
big
like
time.
in I don't know in the like Catholic Church where you get excommunicated, you get reinstated there? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know how that
well?
works. I imagine your family still talks to you in the Catholic Church.
No, I'm sure they don't.
I was taught not to look into other religions.
Yeah, they're all lies.
Yeah.
That's why.
Did your mom ever catch any heat for like still letting you live with her? And
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
dude,
that? Really?
hardcore. Yeah, when I moved back, which is awesome that I've lived with my mom since I moved back. But I did move out. Yay for me. No, but they would always. She would catch it from. It was more like it's how they do it though. She just gets a cold shoulder, you know, and they don't call her as much and blah blah blah. I had fucking elders coming to the door, being like, hey, you know, every year Jehovah will allow you to come back into the religion if you repent in your heart. And I was like,
They came to tell you that?
yeah, they came to talk to me specifically.
Oh, God.
when
What
I
do you
first moved
do?
back.
Do you just laugh them out of there, or do you have a conversation with them?
Well, it was a guy that I grew up with, like literally.
oh,
Like
man.
I remember being a little kid when he
That
first
wasn't an
joined.
accident.
Yeah, it was literally they sent him.
Yeah.
But I was maybe 9 when he first joined, and then when he came along, and I knew him and his wife, and then they ended up. I watched him become ministerial servant, elder, blah, 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 and then I got disfellowshipped, and then he comes to the door, and he's trying to be like, and I just kind of looked at him, and I was just gave him this look like, really, dude? Like, I'm an adult now. I'm not 9 anymore.
Yeah.
Can I ask what it was that got you disfellowship? I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can we go in the back room?
Red's going to make 20 gauge jokes.
Just so you know.
7 minutes of heaven in the closet.
Zach's not here today, so.
No, I was literally, when I started working at Olive Garden, I was just out partying and drinking and smoking.
Which is before you worked at Outback, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
Just
met you at
before.
Outback.
Yeah, that's when PJ and I met.
And did you grow up within the
Oh,
religion?
dude, hardcore, yeah.
Yeah,
Big
okay.
time. I was freaking auxiliary pioneer and everything. Hard banging on people's doors.
That's pretty hardcore, man.
Dude, I was in it.
I never-
Believe?
I used to give talks all the time. I
Did
literally
you believe?
I did for a while. I was baptized when I was 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I was into it.
Yeah, 16 for me, but I believe too. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have done it otherwise.
Exactly. That's kind of what I chalk it up to. But then I think about it now, and I look at how, I don't know. I mean, you look at these kids, and literally like 10-year-olds is a little kid, and to let them make that kind of decision is retarded. I
Yeah.
don't think anyone should ever be baptized. If they're gonna stay in the religion, by all means, do your thing. Like if that's what you believe, you're an idiot, but that's fine. And so if you're gonna do it, but I don't think until you're 18, you shouldn't be allowed to make that decision. They
I
really
agree.
shouldn't.
I
don't think
agree.
any parent should let their kid.
Maybe
do that.
16.
I
No,
can
I-
see 16, but I don't know.
No, guys,
It's-
I was 16. Look at me. I'm a fuck up.
Yeah, I think it's still like you say.
That
though,
religion
like-
ruined my life.
But like you say, you believed. You didn't do it just because.
That's
like,
true.
you
Yeah,
got
I was
forced
old
into
enough
it.
to know what I was doing. You
Yeah.
know? And it's not like our parents really forced it on us, which it sounds like your mom may have done.
It was one of those that really didn't have a choice in it. I mean, it was got to a point where it became so routine. It's just how life was.
You're just
Yeah.
going to meetings all
Going
the
to
time. and-
every 3 days a week, and which is a fucking joke.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Kidding me?
I've heard they cut that back now.
They did. They cut it back down.
Thank
to
God,
what's,
man. How miserable was it, especially as a kid, like coming home from school and then having to put on a suit and sit there
Yeah.
for 2 hours
And
on a
that-
Thursday evening?
See,
in
my-
Yakima, the sunshine.
Yeah.
Big
It's
red.
awful.
102 degrees.
Everybody's
I could've
asleep.
gotten some sunburn on, and it was sick. The worst though was honestly like what I hated the most. Looking back on it now, the most pain in the ass part of it was coming home from school, writing a talk, going stand up in front
Oh,
of
yeah.
70 people and giving a talk. And I literally gave talks probably every 3 weeks.
Oh,
like,
man.
it was just constant, bam, bam, bam. My name was always somehow getting drawn.
Would you consider yourself a good public speaker? Because I
I'm
hated
a
it.
great public speaker.
Are you?
It's
Really?
retarded.
I'm
how
awful
good
I would
I
like
always
to.
have been.
I bet there's videotape of one of your talks, Red.
I don't think so.
Let's throw that shit up on
No
YouTube.
Your mom
Pronto.
never videotaped it.
No, we never had a video
Oh.
camera. We barely had food.
Was your mom raised in it, or did she come along like
No.
when you were 10 years old?
No, not at all.
Let me guess. She prayed. Then there was a knock at the door. She
Yeah.
prayed for help, for guidance. That's how it happens.
No, it's kind of funny. My mom was raised in the world in Wyoming, and was like not really a partier, but she liked to drink and blah blah blah.
And in the world means not a Jehovah's
Non-Jehovah's
Witness.
Witness, yeah.
Right.
So her worldly ways. And my dad had moved from Wisconsin with his family to the same small town in Wyoming, and he was raised way hardcore Jehovah's Witness. Like my grandma to this day, I haven't talked to her in a long time, obviously, but
Yeah.
she is hardcore. So she went over to Africa to pioneer and preach and da da da. And when
Well, that's good though. I like an old lady doing it. That's
Yeah.
fine if that's how you
That's
want to
fine.
spend your time.
But she, and so my mom met my dad, and which he wasn't supposed to have any association with her. They got married. And he
Same
brought
with
her
our
into it.
parents.
Yeah. He brought her into it, and then like since then, and then it was, a good 3 years, and he got disfellowshipped. But she stayed strong.
Wow.
So, did you stray away from my question? You for partying? That's why you got disfellowship?
Yes,
partying?
it was smoking, drinking, and then I came home one day at 11 in the morning, and from working the night before. My mom got pissed and like brought me in front of the elders, and I told her straight up, like our elders meeting was 3 of the guys. It was always the people that they've known you forever since you were a little kid.
Yeah.
The ones that can put you on the biggest guilt trip. That's what they want. And so it ended up they talked about it and they're all, oh, and I was like, well, this is what I was doing. And I told them straight up, I was like, if I'm in the same situation, I'm not going to say no, just so you know, like, and they're all, oh, well, there's one decision we have to make.
So you were basically
Bam.
just throwing in the towel at that
I
point,
was
right?
like, I'm done. If you want to kick me out, kick
And
me
how
out.
old were you?
18.
18.
Did I have any part of that 11 a.m.?
Yeah, dude, it was when we used to go to Sports Center all the time.
Exactly. We used to go to Sports Center at 18 years old, and I was still a senior in high school. It'd be a Wednesday morning, and I'd have weight training at 8 a.m., and I'm like, oh, I am so hungover. And they're like, it's Wednesday, dude. What were you doing? I was like, I was out at the bars, lifted weights at 7 a.m., man. It was horrible. But
You
I
sound like
loved
such
it.
a badass, dude.
Oh, I
Like
know. I
18.
thought I was so
Yeah, I
cool.
was going to the bar. They
to,
sell
like-
cigarettes at the bar.
Yeah.
Did you have sleeves on your shirt or no?
Yeah, exactly. No, I wore tank tops back then. Yeah, that place was such a dive too. Before it got remodeled,
Oh my
or
God,
not
it
even
was
really
bad.
remodeled, but
I
ownership
think it's
change.
heavily remodeled.
Yeah, it really is. That's
I
true.
used to go in there to play blackjack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then before they even put the blackjack tables in, they had the poker table in the very back.
Yeah.
And then it was just like tables and stuff.
Yeah,
up there, I
in that
guess.
back
It was just-
area,
You could
yeah.
just drink there.
Yeah.
And do you remember Kenny, the bartender
Oh, dude,
From-
Kenny
from Sports Center? He is.
No.
He was a
Uh,
total. Well, is still a total.
No, I was
crackhead.
no.
Yeah.
I was never. I think they closed before I was 21. I
Oh,
never
okay.
drank there.
Oh, okay.
You could play blackjack though. At
Yeah, at
18.
18. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
right.
I don't even know you guys yet. Maybe we saw each other.
It'd be a
we
little
could've,
creepy.
yeah.
Oh, that is weird.
So I
you'd
met
known
you
them for longer.
at Outback then too, right? I
Yeah.
guess it was Outback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was out.
Yeah.
Dude, it's kind of weird, like how we still hang out with so many people we worked with like 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It's just-
Yakima's a small town, guys. Don't deny it.
No, it is.
Believe me, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
Walking
like
home-
barely hanging on. You guys always end up working at the same place together. Like you
kinda
worked at
ironic,
Outback for a
yeah.
lot longer than I did in
Yeah.
the first place.
We met at Olive Garden. We worked at Olive Garden,
yeah.
and he left for Outback first, and I got fired for drinking underage. How's that for some foreshadowing of life? I'll
When-
drink to that.
When I started at Olive Garden, there's like kind of a lot of Outback people there, but all that ended now. Everyone's like, even the people I started with at Olive Garden are just at Outback now. I'm
Yeah.
really like on the way outside fringe of the restaurant business.
It's funny though,
It's
like
sad up
especially in Yakima too. Like, there's so many people because shit, I've been doing this since 2000, and I'm sure you have been too.
Yeah.
And 9 years, almost 10 years later, there's so many of the same people that I was working with that are still in the same field.
Yeah.
Still doing
It's kind
it.
of good and kind of bad because you have the people that are good at it that stick around and you're like glad to see them when they get hired. You're like right on, and then you have that fucking idiot that comes in and applies, and you just look at your boss and you're all, yeah. You're gonna lose me if you hire them. Just so you know, like I don't know how much you care about that, but I'm not gonna work with that fucker again.
Yeah.
It's just, that's what I said when PJ came and applied.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I never
I'm
applied.
done.
I did once sort of embarrassingly try to get my job back at Outback after walking out, but
Oh, yeah.
that
Did
never
you?
panned out.
Did you ever tell a story about why you walked out? Was it one thing or?
No, it was it was a combination of things. I was
was the
just
pudgeon.
really pissed off. Yeah, the pudgeon pissed me off so bad.
The Pudgeon being a nickname for some
Yeah,
ugly girl you worked
The
with?
pudgy pigeon.
She
yeah.
wasn't a pretty
Pudgy
girl.
pigeon. Yeah, that's right. The pudgy.
She wasn't a pretty girl, but Red would have fucked her.
Nah, I wouldn't say it. I had a chance to and I didn't. So there you go.
God, how did that happen? There's another thing I was not involved with in the restaurant was all the sexual politics.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Let's
Outback.
hear
I
about
met
it.
my
worse.
wife there,
Outback
but
was, yeah. Outback there was like a revolving door of girls. They just went around.
We need to change this channel because if you guys look at this guy, it's Ripley's Believe It or Not.
the guy without a
He
face.
had no face, and they
Yeah.
like made these prosthetic faces for him.
Oh, man.
it was creepy. He had like no nose.
I've got my back to the TV. And
It
thank
is
God
the
for
chiller
that.
channel. I'll go ahead and shut it off.
Yeah.
little
That's
unprofessional.
much better.
Really, really fucking with my ADD right there.
I just threw up a little in my mouth.
All
That
these
guy.
flashing lights.
Have you guys not heard episode 8 where we were just watching Family Matters with no sound and commenting on it the whole time? It was pretty intense
Thanks.
stuff.
I made it a habit not to listen to the first 24, 25
Probably a
episodes.
good move, yeah.
Yeah. You get all the kinks worked out. It's
Yeah.
like going to a restaurant and they open. It's not going to be that
Our
good.
stride came in the late 20s, that's for sure.
In more ways than one.
Red's listened to like the first episode, and
I've listened to almost every single episode. I really have, and I will say it's a lot easier to listen now.
How dare you? You come in my brother's house.
Yeah.
I
I
finally
finally
hit of a show. It is a hit. It is an internet sensation.
Oh, no,
Have you guys ever Googled us? It's insane.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had, but I haven't listened to like the last 4 episodes because my computer's been broken. But
Last 4, you can skip this.
yeah.
Okay.
And I've probably
Didn't
brought
listen
it
to
up
it.
before too, but I did Google my name now, and it popped up with you guys, the show.
Oh, yeah.
And my landlord, I think I may have even said it on a previous episode, but
Yeah.
my landlord found it, and he was like, I listened to the show, and I'm like, oh shit, like we're smoking cigarettes and smoking weed and drinking beer in my little apartment. He's like,
Wait,
yeah, I like
your
it.
landlord listened to it?
Yeah, he found it online and listened to the episode.
Why is he Googling you anyway?
That, I know, right? It's creepy enough. He lives right next door to me now, and he's
I'd have some
online.
questions for this
I know,
man.
right? Do I get a discount on rent since you're checking me out online, guy?
It's like we put signs up like claiming on to your neighborhood fame. Nick Orlando's in this week's episode. Listen up, everybody.
We do build him up to be quite the Yakima legend, though.
Well, yeah, that probably is how it happened, though, is because he Googled your
I think,
name.
yeah, and I brought it up that we were doing a podcast, and he was kind of interested in it. And then we
I
did the
see.
podcast, and he's like, "How'd it go?" And it went well. And I told him that I think I even said that it was Planned Brotherhood, so he could have even looked up Planned Brotherhood, but
I
then
see.
he had to have Googled both. But it was kind of strange. He just comes up, "Yeah, I watched your show last night. That reminds me of how I was 20 years ago. The same feeling about Yakima, because we were just mad dogging Yakima."
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, this town. Back to an old point. I was actually baptized Seventh-day Adventist when I was like 5 years old.
Oh, we don't
Like,
care about that.
I know.
At
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, don't
What the
worry.
hell's a Seventh-day Adventist?
Yeah, who knows? Well, that was my point
Don't
though.
you
of
like
not
just take
being.
Sundays off? Like you
Yeah, you go to church on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Well, we
Like
went to
you-
church on like Thursdays and Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. And
yeah.
So what? You didn't work either on Sunday?
No, I don't know. I was young. I got out of it when I was like 12 or 13 because the people that my grandparents and stuff that brought me there, aside from my great grandmother who died at 105 or 104, everybody else was the biggest bunch of fucking hypocrites ever. Where they were holier than thou
So
one
were
day.
you Seventh-day Adventist or Jehovah's Witness?
I know, seriously. Yeah.
Why
We
is
have a
that?
lot in
Hang on.
common. Yeah. But now after I hit a certain age, like my grandma used to gamble like crazy, and she actually spent all of my grandfather's credit cards. She got all of them and maxed them all out, and he didn't know, and he went to buy a truck, and they had no credit and no money in their cards. And so I was like, really, lady? And so I've excommunicated myself from a lot of them.
Yeah. You got to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
I guess I promised to tell you why I got disfellowshipped, but I'm
Yeah.
not technically disfellowshipped. I
Well,
mean,
see, that
I
doesn't-
probably am. I've never gotten
Do
an
you-
official
No,
letter.
I think it has to be official.
Funny story, not to interrupt you, but I am. But it's funny that if you don't officially get disfellowshipped, I've seen this happen 3 times, but they'll literally go up on stage and they're, we have an announcement, and let's say it's Nick Allers is by demonstration of his actions no longer
Really?
showing that he wants to be
See?
one of Jehovah's
Do you,
Yeah.
Witnesses.
do you think
and-
they've
So they
done
don't-
that by now?
They don't need to talk to me then?
they
make
might
that
have seen-
announcement?
There was a guy that joined the Marines, and they're like, oh.
That's a bad move as a Jehovah's
Yeah,
Witness.
exactly. So he was done, and then there was this couple that were they were fucking and hadn't come to meetings for a while, so they were just like, "Bam, done." And I was like, "Okay, well, that's
It was always
I'm sure that happened to me then, and it had to have. My name came up in some announcement.
oh
Because,
really?
well, I don't know for sure, but I don't know. Like, our Uncle Russ won't talk to me, I'm sure. I've never tried to talk to him.
Yeah, I don't know. He asks about you.
I don't know, because the only difference between PJ and I is I was baptized, so it was
Yeah.
a bigger deal when I
See,
dropped
that's the
off.
stupid thing about it is if I
Plus,
was
I have
never
a family,
baptized,
I have
I'd
a
be-
job, I've got my life together.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not
me in my
worried
place,
about me.
But that's what's funny is too is like if I was never baptized, my whole family would still have no problems with what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's
Just
all
the
that
fact
one
that I
step
was
you made.
baptized. And it's
Yeah.
just like, really? I was 10. Fuck you guys.
Now, is it a sticky situation if you just like you don't go to church for 4 months and then you walk in and everyone's like, oh, you didn't
No,
get
they-
the memo? Well,
At least at the beginning,
you're not welcome.
I don't.
here.
I think
They're
it'd be
generally pretty
much longer
supportive.
than that.
Yeah.
they're generally pretty supportive.
Yeah.
Because people will start to drop off and just stop showing up to all the meetings.
Yeah.
And then elders show up at their house. But that's for, gentle words of encouragement.
This is a case
Yeah.
of if like someone hasn't been to a meeting in 4 months, plus like everyone in the Kingdom Halls who are like huge gossips, like are saying, oh, I saw him smoking a cigarette, I saw him out drinking, all that kind of stuff.
That's
Like,
what
that's
ultimately
what
got me
happened to Nick.
busted.
Yeah.
Was I got caught smoking outside of a job I was working at. Like there were 2 witnesses standing there at the Starbucks I was smoking in front of.
Oh,
And then
nice.
I had literally phone calls from elders waiting for me when I got home that night, and I was like, oh god.
That's
But
just
by that
lame.
point, like I'd already made my decision. I was just
Yeah.
too afraid to tell anybody. But like I at that time was having sex with storytelling. We never ended up getting married. But so like there
Thank
was
God. I'm going to say that's a good move for you.
Oh, we've covered it, but
Be
yes,
careful.
thank God.
She listens.
Yeah. Oh no, she doesn't, B-Day. She hasn't listened in episodes. That's the frustrating thing about her. If I can go off on a quick side tangent.
Sure. I just want to
That's
ask.
what we do.
So did you, when there was the message from the elders, did you ever talk to them?
No. By that point, I just because I'd also gotten fired from that particular grocery store at around that same time, so my life was falling apart.
Was it a
And I just
voicemail
needed-
on a cell phone, or was it old enough to where it was actually an answering machine?
And
you got home. And,
No, I guess it would have been my cell phone.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it was.
There better not be any elders that know how to get a hold of me.
We can drop names and then delete them. But Tony is the first one I got a phone call.
Oh, you
from.
want to know what's funny? Guess who came to my door when I first
Really?
moved back? Yeah,
Yeah.
swear to God.
Are you, that was the guy?
That was him.
Oh my God.
He's
Swear to
Tony H.
they call that a JW hitman.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had a. Oh, what was your side tangent about?
Oh, I was going to go
storytelling?
into the storytelling thing, but we should we'll devote a whole segment to that later.
Okay.
Can we?
Cut that, guys. Cut that from your memory.
yeah.
It's easy to tell them that, or cut that too.
Okay. Nico.
Cut that.
More religion.
Yeah, more religion. Yeah, let's talk about religion again. It's like instead of Lost. Hey, we're done. You're done ranting and raving, Nick. Let's talk about religion. That was classic. That was the last episode when I got all faded and didn't say anything for 20 minutes, and all of a sudden I just chime in. All right, you're done, Nick. I'm done listening to you.
I know.
Let's talk about Lost.
We knew you were a mess before you even came onto that
Oh,
last
dude.
episode. Because
Yeah.
you had, like, right when I got off the bus, I met PJ at the bar, and you were there, and you said you had been there
I was
basically all
drinking
day.
I had the day off.
And you're like, I want to come on again, man. And we had just had you, but we're like, yeah, let's do it. And then you literally only said, what were the 2 words? Sincerely, regardless. Was that it?
Sincerely
I love
and
saying regardless a lot.
irregardless, I think.
Yeah, I love the word regardless. But regardless.
In fairness, as far as the Lost tangent goes,
Uh-huh.
when I listened back, we said something about the podcast and said a Lost episode.
Oh,
and I think
and I
that's
mixed
when
it
you
up.
were like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, what's that Lost episode you want to talk about? Jack and
Yeah.
Kate, fucking Sawyer. And
Yeah, as I'm all faded too, like I'm watching it. You can't see it on the podcast, obviously, but I look right at a big collection of DVDs that PJ has, and one of them was Lost, and I'm sure I was just like looking at that, heard Lost episode, and
yeah.
okay, let's talk about Lost. Great show, though.
I've never seen it. Not
Well,
once.
we can't go into this again.
Are you
No,
gonna
I'm just
see
going to
the-
tell Red he has no excuse not to see it.
Yeah, it's a great show.
I work
It
nights
is.
and I don't have the.
No excuse, Red.
I'm just saying.
Take it one episode at a time. It's worth it.
He's got 19 hours in the day to play WoW.
Yeah.
And-
Did
but
you know that there's a
takes a
Prince of
long
Persia movie coming out?
Really?
A movie of Prince
Yeah.
Persia?
Live
That's
action?
kinda cool.
Jake
Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Really?
Oh, hooray.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Looking pretty glistening. And
Really?
all.
Yeah, they got
They picked
posters
him.
up.
Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. Is
I
that
don't-
is
Uh,
that
It's
related
a
to World
vi-
of Warcraft?
I remember
No,
once
it's-
being
it's
at
a-
Red's house watching him
It's a
play
video
this
game. It's
game
fun.
where
the first one
nothing happened.
it was it Prince of Persia or was
It was Prince of Persia, and I kept making all these comments to you, and I don't know if I was making you mad or not, but you eventually just turned it off, which is what I was egging for the whole time.
The one
It was the
game that
most
you
boring
played that I
thing on
hated
earth.
was Kingdom Hearts.
that-
Disney RPG
that game was like super fun, but it was Disney, so it was like you're
Yeah,
playing as Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, watching you like run around as Goofy, like slaying dragons, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" Like, please turn it off.
I had no idea you were such a nerd. Let's talk about that.
Dude, you have no idea.
I remember Red come up to me one day going, "Man, I'm kind of bummed. Robert Jordan died."
Yeah, you guys don't know who that is.
Watch
It
it
blank stares.
He's I'm sorry, I fucked it up. I asked him, I was like, "Who the fuck is Robert Jordan?" And he's like, "You know those 1,400-page fantasy novels I'm reading all the time? He wrote 100 of those."
You know
He
that
wrote
girl
one-
repellent I always have under my arm?
He wrote like 14 books in a series of 15 and then died before he put out the last book. That was kind of bad.
Wow,
That is a
that's
bummer.
morbid.
In
That
fairness,
sucked
that's
a
a
lot. I
bummer.
was all into these books. Like, that sucks no matter what it is. Like, imagine everyone on Lost dies before the last episode's out. You're just like,
Yeah.
well, fuck.
Why
It's
don't
just
you
not the
die in
pen
same.
a
like
plane
the
crash.
fan fiction 15th book of it? You just write.
I'll just
How you think
make
you
it
would
up and
end
send
it.
it in. I'm down.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I have a feeling you already do that on your off time.
No,
You're like,
I
this is
do.
it.
I'm not a writer. Don't get me wrong. I fucking I do play a lot of video games. I mean, like, when Nick and I used to live together, I would like sit at the computer. I would make a pot of
Just
coffee.
computer games, or do you have consoles, or what?
I
He had a lot of
all
computer
them,
games.
Yeah.
He
I'd
did.
like I played like the MMORPGs.
MMO, what is that?
OMG.
Yeah.
I don't know what the.
No, I know
BRB.
it's massive multi-online role playing games.
Okay.
It's online games like EverQuest and World of Warcraft, and I do it's
Didn't
stupid.
people
addiction.
like sell their
Yeah,
EverQuest?
Yeah,
on
you
eBay
remember
it sells
Brandon?
thousands
We
of
used to work with
dollars.
at
Who?
Brandon.
Oh, yeah.
He sold his character on. He stopped playing EverQuest and sold his character for $2,000 on eBay.
Holy
crazy.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That is
seriously.
insane.
But don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, like literally, if you count every hour and divide it up to how much he made per hour, it was like 11 cents.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah, you gotta
played
spend
so
so
much
much,
to
yeah.
make that. It was a. All right.
There was
I
one
really
day.
am a nerd.
Yeah, there was one day when I
But
don't know.
what's
I
the
got
point
up.
of the game? Do you win money playing the game?
No, it's just fun. It's like any video game; it just never ends. Like,
Peter,
it
you're
just
just
goes
talking,
into-
asking gambler
yeah.
questions.
Well, it's an hilarious situation. There was one day I got up at like 10 a.m. and I had to go to work, and I worked all day. And right when I got up, Red's at the computer playing, and then I worked till like midnight or something. And I come home at like 12:30 at night, and there's no lights on in the house except for the computer glow, and he's still over there at the computer, too busy to get up and even turn on a light. It's just geeking out. And the game was horrible to watch. I'm sure it was fun first person, but third
it's
person,
so
it's
terrible.
like it's kind of like WoW too, where you just see your character go and.
It
He swings a sword at someone, and then you push some buttons, and then he does a spell, and then they usually push some more buttons, and he swings a sword, and it goes on like that for 5-6 minutes. And you're like, oh, I got it, I beat him. Okay, next, and then you run through a field for literally like 7 minutes because they make it as real life as possible. So you got to run 2 miles, and it takes you how long it would normally take to run 2 miles to swing your sword at some guy and make clouds appear over him.
I am now sold. This is amazing.
Dude, it's funny too because like I've watched people play and I'm like, fuck, that's boring. But then I get on and play and I'm like, I'm there for like 11 hours, no problem.
yeah.
There's one time I did like a 36-hour stint,
Really?
like hardcore. Yeah, it was like I got up to piss and order pizza, and
Yeah.
it was up for like 36 hours playing this game.
I know a guy, our last guest brother-in-law, would pee in huge jars because he wouldn't get away from his computer screen.
See, that's I'll make it to the bathroom. I'll have a little dribble before I get there, and it'll be Russian,
Yeah.
but I'll get there.
Well,
And you're even making the piss stream some kind of game. Keep your
But
mind focused.
can't you just like go if it's that real life? Like, can't you rest behind a tree for a second to allow you to go pee? when you're
Yeah, you
running
have
like
to
2
you have to
miles
find
through
a
the
spot
woods?
where no one's gonna fuck you up while you're away from the computer.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's crazy. I played this one game when I just got my Wii, and it's called No More Heroes, and it's just like my classic button pushing, button mashing, kill 'em game. You have a sword and you hit them, and there's blood all over the screen. It's like just totally ridiculous. But I spent 24 hours playing it. I beat the game, and then I played it again, and I beat it, and I played it again, and I beat it, like easy, medium, and hard or whatever. And it logs your time, and so I had 24 hours, and I was like, holy shit, I wasted a whole day playing this video game. Of my life, I spent 24 hours, right? and I thought that was all gross. And then I got into The Sopranos, and each season it's like 5 days of your life if you actually watch it all the way through.
Yeah, somehow that doesn't seem as awful.
Yeah,
to me.
I was
That
like,
doesn't sound bad at all.
yeah,
I've seen all the
You sound
Sopranos, too.
cultured. When
I know.
when it's video games, you're just like,
Yeah, you're
wow.
just like,
You wanted
hey,
to- you wanted to
go
know-
outside, go play with the basketball or something. Oh, Sopranos? Yeah, I like that show. That's cool.
Shit, what season is this? I'm sitting down.
But that's the thing too. You want to talk about time spent playing
yeah.
a game. When I had my overall, I've probably spent a good 4 months total.
With everything or just WoW or
No,
EverQuest
just
and-
lately.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just the last 4 months.
What are you
can,
playing now?
You can look up. No, it's World of Warcraft, but you can look up on your character and see how much time you've logged on that character, and it'll go from like hours to days to months to.
Yeah.
There was a buddy of mine who plays as well had 363 days on one character.
So you do have friends.
Busy.
I do, but they all play Warcraft. I only talk to them online.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've never met any of them. I can tell you all their
Pothead
stream names.
1978.
Yeah, PD, you make fun, and yet here I just got into town yesterday. I wake up this morning, and you've literally ignored me all day for online poker, illegal online poker.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just throwing it out there.
Just throw that
It is
That's the
true,
thing, too.
and,
That's
and
not
you
as
have to
bad,
listen
right?
to me just yell at the computer screen and go, "Look what I just typed to this girl."
Yeah,
Yeah,
tell them what you
that
typed
was
to that
pretty
girl.
funny, actually, yeah.
I typed something. I get angry on there. What did I say? It was something like, "Oh, she said that's what you get for chasing an inside straight," because I got it, and then she got something else, and I said, "Oh, is that what I get, you stupid whore?"
And then somebody else in the room scolded you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then someone was like, "Hey, calm down."
And haven't you been kicked out of this very chat for 30 days because of this?
Wow.
What?
weird.
No.
You told the story on the show about you getting banned from chat
Oh
rooms.
no, that was Poker Stars.
Oh,
That was
sorry.
something else.
Yeah,
I thought you
that
were
was
talking about
something
getting
else
banned from
entirely.
the bar.
Yeah, that's not. Oh, it is online poker. That's right.
But I don't know. I put the money on there. I'll probably lose it in a couple hours after Red and Nick are gone. I
And when you're
thir-
ignoring me again.
I put $40 on there. I got 30 right now. That's not gonna last.
Well, that's what's funny too. Is I got a online program of poker on the Wii, and you can play around the world, but it's just free and it's just for fun,
Yeah.
And I'm actually 240th out of 300,000 people in the world or whatever. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. But there's people on there that have 5 million chips, and you got to spend so much time playing this free poker.
Yeah, it's like they built that up. If you think about it, although I'm sure the circumstances would be much different. If you start with 500, theoretically, they could have made $5 million playing, starting from 500.
Yeah, oh yeah.
People devote. My boss at work, she's always like, "Oh, I won 130,000 on online last night," and she's talking about fake money.
Fake money, yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, that's bullshit. Who cares?" But then I look in my Play Money account, and I've got 1,000 in there.
Yeah.
If I tried, I could not make that 130,000.
Oh yeah.
You could do it, but then again, the only good thing about having the play money on there is that you can actually enter tournaments for money.
Rarely.
But it's a pain in the ass too because
You can do it. You can enter tournaments for real money with fake money.
Yeah,
I think so on some of the programs. You
I
can.
know.
I know.
Not on
Full tilt. On full tilt.
I know you can buy in with your full tilt points, but you don't.
That too.
But you don't
get
get
points
those for
playing fake money games.
No, you don't.
I have full tilt points, and I only play fake money. I'm almost positive. I might be
You're
wrong. Okay. I know I've seen tournaments you can buy in with fake money, but they're satellite tournaments. You win this one,
Yeah.
and you get a seat in this tournament for money.
There's a whole world of full tilt poker, and then there's a whole other world of the fake money players, and I'm not really a part of that world. So whatever's going on over there. If you've got to win a tournament against 10,000 people to get $1 real money, I'm not
but
interested.
they're abiding by the law, which you're not doing.
That's true.
Speaking of poker, we need to have a fucking home game soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, before I leave, let's do it tonight, guys.
I'm down.
Oh, you work, don't
No,
you?
I'm off tonight, but I can't tonight. Now that I mentioned it, awesome.
Red has his kids. It sounded exciting for a second.
It did.
I have my-
I'm down,
I know
man.
certain other guys.
We don't need red. We don't need red.
Yeah, I have my boys tonight. I can't tonight. That's the only thing.
Well, it'll be like
We actually, let's
it'll be
teach-
like my
let's
boys. They
let's
play poker all the time.
Teach
on
them
that
how
show.
to play. Let's bring them along. We can coach them.
We should teach them how to deal.
That'd be
Teach
awesome.
Noah how to deal.
He can't shuffle. Well, you can teach them how to shuffle.
Teach
If
them
kids know how to do
shuffle.
one thing, it's how to shuffle.
We'll
Yeah.
wait.
You
He
go like
can't. He
this.
can't take
Bam,
much
throw
longer
the cards
to
out on
the
be
ground
able
and
than
move
anybody
around.
else.
Also known as 52 car pickup.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not gonna like. Nico's a pretty slow dealer.
Yeah,
Kyle's
I
a
am.
pretty slow dealer.
I love when Kyle deals. It's hilarious.
Ugh.
It takes forever, but it's so funny.
He does
'cause
it on purpose.
Everything is like such a forced movement, and he flicks his hand every time he deals a card, and it takes
Kyle
so
is not
long.
in a hurry about anything.
Red's going to be getting called from CPS. We heard you're
Yeah,
using your
exactly.
children to help you with this.
We're gonna be using
illegal
fake money.
poker
You know what's
ring.
good that we should do is like set up like a ring. I just pay them like $1 an hour, and or like candy bars.
Well, they aren't that old.
Yeah.
yet. You can
I
get
know.
away with like 50 cents. Too.
Yeah,
They're
good
young.
call.
I can just imagine them sitting there behind the table.
They got the
On, like-
visor.
on like a crate, so that they got the visor, the little bow tie. I think it'd be adorable.
Oh,
At
yeah.
least they should go for Halloween as that.
Yeah,
I think we should make this happen, Red.
yeah.
This might be a good idea. I
Pick
don't
up
know.
a deck of cards.
You don't
on
have
the way
a
home.
girl, do you? Just boys?
No, just boys.
Oh, okay.
Why? What were you thinking with my girl?
Well,
no, my boys in a gambling ring. What am I going to do with my girl?
yeah, candy and cigarettes girl. Sophie could do that.
That would be nice.
There you go. We'll get her the little box with the straps. She can walk around.
She's almost old enough to go grab anything you want out of the refrigerator.
Is that right? I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Although I did see that when you asked her to pick up her toys today, she did.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed by her behavior this trip.
Yeah. When I was young,
It's
my
'cause
parents
PJs
both
used
used
to
to
hose on
smoke, and we had a gravel driveway, and they'd always throw their cigarette butts on the gravel driveway, and they paid me and my sister a penny a cigarette butt, and we're like, hell yeah, 300 cigarette butts is $3, man, and we'd spend hours out there, and and then you get wise and you're like, I want a nickel for every one I pick up.
Hey, this is just for me and PJ. Remember our old neighbor Don, who later died after we left?
Yeah.
Do you remember Dad? Our dad was not one to keep up our yard, even though we had this huge house growing up, and so he'd only go out there occasionally. And like our next door neighbor Don, who I'm pretty sure was a closeted homosexual.
Yeah. He had an award-winning lawn.
Yeah, he spent all of his time out there. Like he had gardens and everything else.
He was
and,
right next door. We shared a hedge. Our side of it was all just fucking ragged and awful.
And you could tell that he was embarrassed by it, like to the point where me and PJ, we were probably like 11 or 12.
Yeah, and he was a very nice man. He wasn't like grouchy at all.
No, but one time he called me and PJ over. He put his finger in my butt and then told me.
Did he take you in his house?
Just
for-
the way you looked at
for
me,
a
Red,
late
I felt like I had to
afternoon
spice up the story a little bit. No, but he actually paid us like a significant amount of dollars, probably $5 between the
Yeah.
two of us, to clean our own yard because he was obviously so embarrassed.
Yeah.
The rest of the street kept up better than our dad did, you know. But that's always the way he's been. He never allowed us to mow the lawn either.
Here's another weird random Dawn memory, and I hope it's something I just made up in my head. But do you remember one time when Melissa was a baby and we had her baby monitors and we were picking up Dawn's phone conversation?
Yeah.
And we started saying stuff into the walkie-talkie, like we'd press the button and we'd be like, Dawn, you're a bald faggot, and stuff like that, and fuck you. And like,
A man who's never done anything
yeah.
to us.
And
Who paid us to clean our own yard.
he could hear us, right?
No, he
I
couldn't hear
remember
us.
him being in the yard, like,
Dude, you were a
looking-
paranoid freak even as a 10-year-old.
He was in our yard, like looking up at.
Well, probably because we were also looking at him, I remember, as we were picking up his telephone conversation, which is obviously like an intimate phone call with his sister. And me and my brother are just calling him a faggot, but if anything, he heard us yelling out the window.
No, we weren't being that loud.
My dad, he used to drive long-distance truck, and so he had a CB in his semi, and he always parked it out front, and we did the same thing. I was like in 5th grade, and we'd sneak out at night and jump into a semi truck and get on the CB and be like, "Hey, you fucking faggot truckers!"
Like me, I'm
fuck
full
you,
tilt
you fucking
poker.
idiots! Yeah, and it went through, and it picked up on my neighbor's TV, and they heard it through the TV, and they came out and they're like, "God damn it, Nick! Get off the CB! We can hear everything you're saying." And we're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
My poor neighbor, we used to mess with him so much. We had this huge spotlight, and we'd sneak out at midnight in our front lawn and pop the spotlight in their bedroom window. And they'd get up, "We know it's you. I can see you right there." Oh, yeah, we were jerks.
It's something about being put in your place as a kid. Like, I thought I was getting away with something awesome. This
Especially by a stranger. That's the worst.
Yeah.
I guess your neighbor's not your stranger, but
One time in middle school, Mom picked me up, and I got in the car, and I had just gotten a Tootsie Pop from, like, the student store, and I was super pumped about it.
8th grade.
I'm like, ooh, grape. And then so I sit in the car and I throw the wrapper out the window, and there's a school bus behind me, and the guy gets on his PA and says, "Litter bug," and I felt like the biggest asshole in the world. That was barely a story, so I guess.
I remember that. I remember that story too.
I really like
pretty
the
sure
part
Dawn
about how
heard
it was
us.
grape. That was awesome.
Dawn did not hear us. R.I.P. Dawn. And Evelyn, she's probably dead too.
Yeah, I think so.
Don's dead.
Another
how old
neighbor.
was this guy?
He wasn't very old when he died, but
Yeah.
he was probably gay and on AIDS.
Probably AIDS. Yeah.
It's a
He got the
daycare now
AIDS.
or something. Last time I drove by, his house is a daycare now.
Maybe it was a
Maybe
Chino.
that's a sentiment to him.
And what used to be
We
our
like children
house-
so much. Let's have them all come over.
There's so many children buried in the backyard.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Did
for
he
good
even
soil.
have I mean, he never had a girlfriend. He never left his house. He was just really obsessed with his
well
lawn.
that the old
Did
lady.
he have a pet at least?
The old lady. I don't. Did he
was
have
it
a
a
dog?
cat?
Maybe.
He might have had a cat.
I think it was a cat. I think it was a cat.
And the old lady,
Ding, ding,
we
ding.
lived right next door to him, and she lived like kitty corner to us. She was his everything. She was over there every day.
Yeah, they were buddies, even though there was like a 30-year age difference. He must have
Yeah.
just been asexual flat out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think
No,
of.
I think
he probably
he was
didn't
gay.
have anatomy. Huh?
Yeah, he was.
And I
born without a
remember,
penis.
Evelyn being a
Eunuch.
nice old lady too. Like I remember, like actually going to her house after we didn't live in that house.
Yeah, she was one
anymore.
of those, she was one of those crabby old ladies, but she had a heart of gold, You just had to crack through it, like Mr. Wilson on Dennis the Menace.
Right. You don't appreciate it when you got it, but
Yeah.
looking back,
The crabby old lady I lived next to growing up used to get pissed off at me because we'd hit baseballs and they'd go over our yard, over her
Oh, we had
yard,
somebody
and then
pissed
hit her
about that,
house.
too.
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah,
And she used to get mad at me for that all the time.
Yeah.
And then she was like the crabby old lady. Like we'd be riding our bikes. We lived on a dirt road. You know what I mean? And like so we'd ride up and down on our bikes, and we'd come. But she had the cool circle driveway. Like you drive in one side and go out the other. It was amazing, especially on a bike because you're just cruising through it.
Right.
And she used to get so fucking pissed about that. She'd be shaking her fist out her door, like, "Get out of my driveway! It's not for bikes." And, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Really?" And her
My-
daughter was such a big bitch too. She'd come walking down the steps and waddling more or less because she was not small. Come yell at us on our bikes riding through the driveway. I'm like, "Really? You're mad?"
Our backyard shared a fence with an apartment building, and I remember, especially as little kids, there was this one lady, like an apartment 11.
Well, we should remind the listeners, we had a daycare running out of our house.
Yeah.
So there was like between 8 and 12 kids running around. But it's the middle of the day. I mean, who gives a shit,
That's
know?
when I sleep.
they
So
throw
I
Red
would've
was
been
that guy. He's the one that pulled a gun on that kid.
like we'd like something would get knocked over the fence, and this one lady in the apartment building.
I
was
remember her.
such a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
We'd come down the slide, and like it was gravel. There was no grass. It was gravel because they didn't want to, take care of it, so they replaced it with gravel. And like would push all the rocks onto her porch and stuff like that. She gets so fucking pissed. I remember Mom handling it not well at all, like cussing it out with her one day.
In front of all the kids, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
She's like, "Kids, get over here! Fuck you,
Big
lady!"
crowd. Like when they come to pick up Brian and Starla, she's like, "Oh, I told that bitch off. I said, go fuck yourself."
My crabby lady at the end of our block, I was riding a bike too, and I was probably only like, I don't know, 6 or 7. And I'm riding down the road, and she's backing out of her driveway because she's late for something, and fucking hits me on my bike, and I scrapes and bruises, nothing too bad, but she hits me hard enough that my bike got stuck under her car. It got stuck up in like the muffler and in the exhaust and everything. So I'm like trying to pull my bike out. She's like, "Get your bike out of my car!" I'm like, "You just hit me with your car. Like, why don't you get out and help me pull my bike out of your car?" And I remember
I bet that's how you rationalize, even as a 6-year-old.
yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, seriously, yeah. I was so devastated with it. Like, it tacoed out my wheel. The front wheel was all bent up and stuff, and I'm like wheeling my bike back home, and I'm all crying. I got cuts and bruises, and I'm telling my parents, I'm like, "Miss Johnson just hit me with her car," and they just started laughing. I think it's hilarious. And that didn't help the situation. So
Are you sure you're not remembering this wrong?
Yeah, I cry myself to sleep. It's pretty traumatic.
I prefer those parents, really.
yeah. It was pretty
I
funny.
don't need a confrontation on my behalf.
Of which there were a lot of.
Yeah.
Outback Pickles.
It's just a nap, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I've just heard that it was awful. And
It's an
way
action
too
movie,
long.
but it's
That's the thing.
really
We're
long.
talking about Transformers 2?
Yeah,
the new one.
Because I remember on an episode, or maybe we were just talking about it, but you told me that Michael Bay had straight up said, "I'm not doing the second Transformers until I
Right.
get a good script,"
Yeah.
and then a week later signed the contract to do it.
Yeah,
And I was
exactly.
like, "Wow."
It was like a
And not
month
a good
later.
script.
They announced at the MTV Awards that they were shooting tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
everything had happened.
Wow.
And that's just like awesome.
And that goes to show.
The only thing I really like about Transformers is Megan Fox. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, dude, she's so
Pretty
hot.
much
She's
what
so
I
used
hot
to
in this
think
movie.
that. I don't know. She's really losing it for me. I don't know. It's just because I think she's annoying, but I really don't find her that attractive anymore.
I don't either.
I
Are you
lusted
serious?
after
Well,
her in
I
Transformers.
think she's fucking crazy hot.
Yeah.
Like
When the
really.
first Transformers
She
came
wa-
out, of course I thought that
When
because
she
I'd never
opens-
seen her before.
Dude,
You
when
know,
she opens the car hood and is
Yeah, I
all-
think it
Sure,
was just
that's-
new.
I literally
Because
just,
I felt the same way, but when I go back and
I
watch
didn't have to
Transformers,
masturbate. It just came in my pants right there.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh God!"
Can we please rewind this movie?
well, you know,
guys?
there's some almost nude pictures of her somewhere out there online
Really?
from the set of that
From
Jennifer's
Maxim.
Body
Jennifer's
movie.
body, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no, like
Jennifer's
she's
Body.
nude in them. She says she's wearing a bodysuit, but she looks pretty naked.
So you've taken the time to look it up, even though you're not that into her.
Oh, I used to love her.
She was way hotter in the first one. I mean, she's still freaking smoking
I don't know.
hot,
I
but-
saw she's in that movie coming out, Jonah Hex.
Yeah.
And they released some pictures of her in the corset. And I rarely say this about a girl because it seems sacrilege, but too skinny almost.
Yeah, it's like this.
Like she had no torso whatsoever.
I
It
don't know
was
if that
kind of creepy.
possible or not.
I mean,
Too skinny.
I mean, that's obviously they're cinching it in really tight.
No, I know, and I
Plus,
guess
they're
that's
probably
the point of a corset.
CGI
Kind
and
of
some
like
of
to
it
see her
out.
rib cage and shit.
So that was the downfall with the Transformers. The end of it, like, it was this huge fight scene with like Megatron and stuff, and you know, it was what it was. I watched it at IMAX, so I'm glad I did see it there. And I recommend watching it in the theaters because you can't really see it on TV. But the last,
I don't plan on seeing it at all.
yeah, and I don't.
I-
I don't
and,
knock
you
you for
know,
that. I won't watch it again.
I mean, it's being trashed worldwide, but it also made a ton of money and set records.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I was just so disappointed by the first one. I thought the first one was such a pile of shit that I have
like
no
the
interest
first
in.
See, I like the first
Yeah.
one.
No,
but
I don't like
it's,
the
it's
second.
not good, guys.
I didn't say it was a good movie.
Oh yeah,
I said it entertained me for 2 hours.
All right.
yeah. I wasn't expected it
I'm
to
gonna,
win
I'm
an
gonna say
Academy
it's probably
Award.
the worst Michael Bay movie I ever saw.
I know I'm going to
Because
sound like a total retard.
He
'cause
did The Rock, which I
Okay.
enjoy watching.
The Rock was good. I don't know what else he's done.
He's
though.
done both
I
the
had
Bad
sex
Boys
in the
movies.
Parthenon.
Not the
Those-
Sean
okay.
Penn
I
those
like
were
both
good.
those movies, Bad Boys and Bad Boys
Bad Boys
2. I
was
like
good.
them both.
Bad Boys 2 is probably one of the better sequels.
He
ever
did
made 'cause
Armageddon,
It wasn't
Pearl
really-
Harbor.
Armageddon I can definitely watch. Pearl Harbor used to be my least favorite one until
Yeah.
Transformers came.
Yeah,
But
I
would
wasn't
rather
a fan
watch
of Pearl Harbor because it
Harbor.
just seemed like
I never
like,
saw it. I never saw it.
It was
It's like
so
the
drawn
Titanic.
out. Like it was when the action finally happened and stuff finally happened. It was good, but dude,
In the
it was
meantime,
so
it's just
drawn
corny
out.
as
You're just
fuck.
like, come on,
dialogue and situations.
This is awful.
And just beautiful shots swooping down
Yeah.
on Kate Beckinsale. Like this is a terrible movie. But I would watch it, you know, on HBO now before I would Transformers or Transformers 2 for that matter.
well, the downfall with that is like their
Actually, I might pick
climax.
Transformers 2.
Megatron fights like 10 other Transformers, and if you're watching it on TV, it's all digital. It's all CGI. You
Can
can't
you even make out what? That's what I hated
That's-
so much
yeah.
about the first one.
You can't make it out. There's
Yeah.
17 digital people fighting. You know who's who. You don't know
Yeah.
it all. And so I was like, really? And then this is already 3.5 hours into it or whatever. I'm over it. I'm like, can you just kill the guy? Like, can we roll credits,
Someone
please?
shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if unless they did a lot of tweaking with all that time they had to write the second one, then the you know it's called Transformers. I grew up loving
Oh, yeah.
not so much the cartoon, but I had the toys and I loved those.
Yeah.
And like so you create your own stories, I guess. But then like to give them no personality whatsoever in the movie, and the personalities they do give them are so like over the top and
Yeah.
stereotypical.
And I forgot about it from the first one, and it happened in the second. When it happened, I was like, oh, son of a bitch. Because there was some, it's like an ice cream truck that's two Transformers. You combine them together. I don't remember the Transformer itself, but I definitely had Transformers that you
Yeah,
take
the ones
two and
you stack them
yeah,
up together. And they
you
make
should
a
have a
little
couple
guy.
and they make a big guy, you know? Well, it was this ice cream truck, and then they drive into this little spot,
They
and they
have
get
it in the
souped
movie?
up. Yeah, it's in the movie. And they get souped up into these Chevy Aveos. And I forgot that it's a walking billboard for Chevrolet, and every Transformer is
all
like a
GM.
Camaro.
Everything is a
or-
GM.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, son
And
of
they
a
wonder
bitch.
why they're losing money.
They have a weed scene in there, which is totally bunk. Like
I've
Are
heard
the
about
robots
this.
smoking weed?
No. It's
no,
the mom.
it's the mom.
Isn't it?
She eats a pop brownie and goes fucking crazy, like reefer
that's just
madness
annoying.
crazy.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that
really?
does not
Minutes
sound
later,
good to
too,
me.
probably.
She's just acting the fool, and I'm like, no, you'd be like in the corner sitting down, not talking to anyone, and she's like just making an ass of herself, and I was like, really horrible portrayal. And they cuss a lot more in the second one. Like
Really?
it should still be PG-13. Transformers is what I grew up with, so that's what my generation would bring my kid to, you know.
Yeah.
And they cuss a lot in it, and they have weed references and a lot of sex references, or a couple sex references, and
Yeah.
hopefully,
And they also like they ruin the toys too. The new toys are all like
Yeah.
They're all just from the movie, and
right, you know, and it's
Do they
they're all
transform
obviously-
though?
they're
they
all
do, but they
GM
aren't
cars.
that hard. Yeah,
Yeah, it can't be the same as the old like metal ones. There's no way that a car company, which I'm sure is putting out the toy line as well.
Yeah.
And it's like
they're
a
like all plastic.
It's
right?
a 3-year-old with Downs could transform them. I remember there were ones that were so difficult, and it was like a puzzle, and you're like, how the hell does this thing work? And I almost got it.
I can't get it back together. where it
These
was.
Transformers, it's like 4 moves. It's like boop boop boop. It's like a
Yeah.
McDonald's toy for $9.99.
Yeah, playing with Transformers used to make you smart, guys.
Yeah.
Nothing
They
can
were
be
like
hard anymore.
Rubik's
I
cubes,
know,
Transformers.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just watch the videos of the old way, old Transformers.
We'd all seen Public Enemies, or you haven't?
I haven't
Micah?
seen it. no.
I saw it the other day.
A
Yeah.
little disappointing, huh?
I was very disappointed because from the previews I was like, "Fuck, I want to go see this movie
Yeah,
so
me
bad."
too.
It's
Me too.
Johnny Depp and Christian Bale, and I was like, I love Johnny Depp. He's one of my
Yeah,
favorite
he's-
actors.
And I love
Yeah.
Christian
Stellar.
Bale, although Christian Bale was boring. in
Yeah,
this
That's what
movie.
people say. I liked Christian Bale.
What? No, he had
I think
nothing.
What they really
He brought nothing to
they
that.
really lacked in the movie. One, every scene was so drawn out and
Yeah.
so fucking long.
It's
and
Michael
it's like-
Mann. What do you expect? It's
And
Michael
I was
Mann.
like, all right.
See Miami Vice.
Bam. It was just like so unfulfilling. And then
Sadly, yes.
it was really what I really hated about the movie. I did like the movie. I would see it again. I'm not going to go to the theater to see it again. I'll watch it again.
I don't
probably.
think I'm even
Maybe
gonna
half of it, and then the half of it the next day when I have time again because it's like 9 hours. But
no, it just feels that way.
but there was what they lacked huge was the chemistry between Christian Bale and Johnny Depp. I think it really, really lacked. Like it should have been so much more tension and so much more
I
stress.
agree. There was the one scene where Christian Bale, like when they have him locked up,
yeah,
and that was a cool scene.
That
They
was-
should have had more scenes like
because
that.
he was like still like, no, I'm getting away. You
Yeah,
don't even know.
yeah.
and it was awesome. But that was the only scene where they like really interacted.
Yeah, and I thought as much as I hear complaints about the digital, shooting it in digital, but making it in old times, like that was a huge deal, and apparently so distracting for so many people. I didn't even really pay that much attention to
I
it.
didn't
No,
honestly.
that
I didn't know it was
doesn't
shot in
bother me at
digital.
all.
I just watched the movie.
Yeah, it's a huge deal because it's got this modern take, but it's old times. But I
thought the movie looked great.
I thought it looked great, and I
yeah.
thought the gunshots all sounded like they meant it. Like
Yeah.
it felt like the battle scenes I thought were great.
I think they're. I mean, not. It was
Would
fairly.
you call that a
realistic,
battle
too.
scene? A gun battle scene.
Gun- They were semi-realistic too, because I mean, when you felt like they were going to get shot, it wasn't like you're reaching around a corner banging out a guy with
Right.
freaking 15 shots out of your 9-round clip.
Yeah.
Then it was literally like their guns
You'd have to
would
be
jam.
Megatron to do that.
Right.
Yeah,
They had trouble with all the old weapons.
Yeah, although
but-
it would jam up, and they would they had to get out of the way, and they really had to keep moving, and that was cool when they actually got to a fight scene. It was awesome, but it just took a day and a half to.
And
get
I'd say
there.
Johnny Depp was passable. It was just Christian Bale I was so disappointed in.
I don't know
if that's his
think it was
fault
the
or he
chemistry
just had
between the
nothing
two.
on the page or what. But like it seemed like you should have cared more about him
Yeah.
or been more on his side.
Because he was just kind of like a bland asshole. Like,
Right.
He was an
Whereas
asshole,
Johnny
which is
Depp,
cool.
he was doing his
He was all
I'm
mystery.
charismatic thing,
Yeah.
which worked for me. But I just didn't buy it. Like I said, that one scene where he visits him when he's still locked
Exactly,
up.
When he's in the jail. That was badass.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Make the whole movie that scene.
That's what I think is like it was this. Each scene had points in it where it was very good. I couldn't stand the girl they picked as like the.
Oh, see, I didn't mind her. I thought
liked her.
It kind
I
of got
thought she was. I
annoying
can't remember
me.
her name, but
Marion Cotillard.
Yeah, I don't know.
Marion
I just don't like
Cotillard.
foreign women. I guess
we'll
I'm
assume
just-
that's it.
I'm racist if you don't speak English properly.
She's French. She was in A Good Year with Russell Crowe, which I also never saw. There was one scene towards the end, like the last line. I remember just the last line in the movie was so fucking cheesy, and
I'm going to argue, and I know nobody's probably seen it because it hasn't come here yet. 500 Days of Summer has the worst last line of any movie I've seen this
Really?
year. Yeah,
500 Days of Summer.
you remind me of Public Enemies, but I guarantee this is worse. Yeah, 500 Days of Summer.
What was the last line? I don't remember the last line.
It was something about what Dillinger whispered. Well, Nick hasn't seen it.
Oh,
Spoiler
yeah,
alert.
that's right, yeah.
Nick
already
has
killed the
It
movie
doesn't-
for me.
It
so.
doesn't ruin the movie by any means to tell him. That's how I remember what it is, yeah.
The last line of the movie. No, it might ruin it. I'm not going to say it.
Come on.
It was like.
It takes away, if you tell him, it takes away a lot of the emotional value of the movie.
Well, I mean, they do bring it
Which
up earlier.
Nick,
It's-
I want to
it's-
see him cry at the end of it.
Yeah,
so
The last line
exactly.
of the movie is something like "Fly away, blackbird, fly away."
Yeah.
I could
Oh,
cry.
yeah,
You
it's
did
a
a really good
reference to-
presentation of that. I am tearing up.
It was
a
some
bit.
hardened cop that said it to her.
yeah.
But and then the scene where he went into the John Dillinger task force and like mingled with them and stuff
Yeah, and
like
they had
that.
no idea who he was. Those are the
I
worst cops
hated
of all
that
time.
scene.
Are you kidding me?
I hated that. Who
As
like
pictures are strewn about of him, is that
Yeah.
based on fact or is that just Michael Mann's spin on the?
I can't imagine that's real. I think that's trying to say like, oh, by this point he was like in self-destruct mode anyway. He was taking much bigger gambles and stuff, but you can't tell me he did something like that.
Yeah, and there's,
That's gotta be
I don't
fiction.
believe that was.
And it was so
I think
awful
it was.
to
It was.
watch.
It was.
It was-
decent for the movie. It portrayed, I think, what it was.
It's
trying
just
to cross.
foreshadowing his death.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly. Like, you just know at that point, you know he. Well, obviously he died. Anyway, but, I, mean,
I think we
Everyone-
knew that before we went to
Yeah,
the
everyone-
movie.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's one of those things. Like, if you're just watching the movie, you know, okay, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Last lines of movies. One of the best last lines of a movie of the last couple of years. Iron Man, right? When he reveals himself at the end.
Yeah.
I've only seen that movie the one time, but that scene
too.
stood
Yeah, I've
out
only seen it
as
once, yeah.
really awesome to me. The fact that they ended it, like, where is it going to go from here?
Yeah.
Nice,
Like, usually
awesome.
everybody's making a huge point to hide their identities,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed with that movie. I thought.
I hope the second
Me
one's
too,
good.
and I've only seen it the one time.
Yeah, I've seen it
too.
only once. Yeah.
I don't know how the second one can be that good.
Yeah.
just
Going with
because
like
of-
last lines of movies and the spin on Iron Man. Another worst last line of a movie is when at the end of the Hulk, when
Oh.
he comes into the bar and he's like, "I'm going to form a team," and I was like, "Okay."
The first
that
Hulk
Ed
or
Nor-
this last one?
The first,
Oh, that.
no, the one with Edward Norton.
Oh man, I've
Oh,
just
because
been
they're
watching
building
that.
up to what? Justice League or whatever
Yeah,
the fuck?
Justice League, Captain America.
I
comes
probably
out
got
in,
that
like,
wrong.
another
Tony
year.
Stark comes in.
Tony Stark comes into
At
the.
the
bar.
end.
I heard
Yeah.
about this. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Buddy, I've been watching. I got like 20 minutes left. You just ruined the whole.
No bullshit.
No, I swear it's on.
It
my-
has
like-
been on. It
It's
has
like
been on.
after the credits anyway. Like it's not
Oh.
part of the
I don't know
movie.
if
He
I'm
just
gonna
walks
stick
in
around
and
for
he's
that.
all, "I'm gonna form a team." And I was
So
like,
what does that mean? That they're really going to make those movies?
They're really going to make all the Justice League. Yeah. As far as I mean,
Well,
I
I mean,
think
you
that would be a
can
foreshadow-
always follow the progress online.
Yeah. I mean, the Captain America comes out in 2011, right?
I think a lot of it probably depends too on how well Iron Man 2 does.
there's in the beginning of that
It's
movie,
gonna be
Hulk,
huge.
if you watch
I
it,
don't know,
they
though.
pan across where he's like in wherever it's all tundra, all frozen tundra. If
Uh-huh.
you look at, there's Captain America in the ice.
Really?
He's like laying in the ice. I mean, it's just a shadow of his body and his shield.
Are you sure about that?
Promise. And then
in
if
the
you watch-
beginning of the Edward Norton Incredible.
Yeah, and then if you watch Iron Man, when he's building his suit, when it's still metal, not painted, Captain America's shield's in the background.
Really?
Bullshit.
Feels
I'm
like
surprised you guys don't know this shit.
Feels
Are you
like I
kidding
might
me?
have seen
Only 'cause
that
I
Am
don't-
one.
Am I that big of a nerd?
I
You
was
guys
gonna
don't
say,
know
yeah,
this?
I know certain things about certain movies. I like I said, I enjoyed Iron Man. I hope the second one is good, but it's not really my thing. And Iron Man 2 is going to be huge. We just forget because Dark Knight came and stole Iron Man's thunder
Oh, yeah.
like 3 weeks after it was out.
Yeah.
I know that it's probably going to be a big movie. I'm just wondering if it's going to be any good. Kind of the thing about it was not that there was, in the first one, unknowns, but it was like taking a big chance on Robert Downey Jr., and then you had like Terrence Howard, who everyone knows who he is, but he
Terrence
played a
Howard
big
isn't in the
role.
next one though. It's Don.
No.
What's his name?
Yeah, but that's kind of my point. And then
Don
like Jeff Bridges,
Cheadle,
who
yeah.
isn't that big a deal anymore. You know, he's not any studio's first choice. But in the second one, all of a sudden, it's Mickey Rourke, who just had his comeback thing.
With Sin City. Honestly, I like Sin City a lot.
No,
I like
his
him
comeback-
in Sin City
I think
too.
his comeback was the rest of it.
Right. His I'm talking about his most recent huge comeback, which was the wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think
Scarlett
he's-
Johansson looks pretty hot, guys. Have you
that's-
seen the pictures?
That's also
No.
like
Red
come on.
hair, Black Widow.
Can't you get someone
nice.
else? Why
She
Scarlett
looks
Johansson?
adorable. Whatever, she's adorable.
She looks
Don't
adorable.
just
She's
get,
so
like,
cute.
the
I want to take her home and dress her up.
$top dollar, I'm gonna draw a name. I don't think John Favs had too much.
Don't
say
call
in
him
that
Favs.
casting.
You have no right.
I follow him on Twitter at Favs. Twitter at Favs.
If that's not taken, we got to create a fictional account immediately.
I don't know. I hope it's good. I'm gonna rent the first one again too.
So let's make
You
this
should
a-
look for the shield. I swear to God, it's when he's building the suit before he paints it.
Well, I still got
I'm
the
gonna keep
Incredible
my eye
Hulk on DVR. I'm gonna look for it while you're still here.
I want to see
The
it too.
Captain
I saw
America.
Prove it, you
I
asshole.
saw photos of it, screenshots of it online.
Oh, those are doctored, Red. You can't.
Oh,
fact
it's
check
not. It was like,
everything.
here it is, bam. It was on the Marvel website.
You
or
know what
whatever.
else Red fell for? Right after 9/11. Remember when that picture was being shopped around the internet? Do you guys remember seeing that after 9/11? Like
Devil's
there was
face in a smoke cloud.
no.
Not that one.
That's not the one
I
I'm
saw
referring
that.
to.
I remember that one.
No, there was supposedly a picture like this couple, like happy couple, and they were on, at the World Trade Center, and you could see the plane coming like right up on them, which obviously that camera would not have survived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looked fake
That's
anyway.
a good point, because right now I'm thinking, oh, that's probably real. Good point. Camera not surviving.
The most vivid thing I remember
for all
from
the
that,
3,000 people that died, all the cameras survived. There's
Yeah,
some amazing
exactly.
footage
It
in
was
there.
amazing.
it was
They all
crazy
just bounce.
watching on ABC in the morning. Obviously the
dude.
second plane that hit, like I saw that live, and I was like, holy shit!
We're gonna get
But the
into
people,
this shit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's big.
So
I am so
sad.
excited that 9/11 came up. I'm glad I
Yeah.
brought this up. Go ahead.
But then, like the people jumping, man, like that just
That was-
blew me away.
that was
the
best
To see
part.
that
Oh.
live on the news,
That's
I
it,
remember I was
Those
still
were the
seeing
ones
my
to
kid's
watch.
mom, and she
Yeah.
called me. She called me in the day. She's like, the World Trade Center just got hit, and I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious? I turn on the TV and like every channel is on the news of that, and then like I literally watched the second plane come in.
My dad
me too.
woke
Yeah,
me
me
up.
too.
My dad woke me up. I was still living at home, and he's a smart ass in general. And he was like, a plane just hit the World Trade Center. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to sleep here. He's like, no, seriously, get up. And same thing. I saw the second plane hit, and then the Pentagon. And
Yeah.
Am I a complete idiot to the fact where it's the same thing? Again, I got woken up by my roommate, and it was the World Trade Center just got hit, and I had no idea what the fuck the World Trade Center was.
dude, sadly,
like,
me
what
either.
is that?
I didn't.
Like,
I'm
did
not gonna
some
say I
building
knew.
blow
I
up?
wasn't like hugely. I knew it was in New York.
He
That's
said
about
the
it.
Twin Towers, and I'm like, okay, if they got a nickname like that, they're probably pretty big. Of course, looking at them, I've seen them before, but I didn't
Yeah.
know what
You know
it
what kind of
was.
pissed me off about it though is that like once that happened, all the World Trade Center shit got pulled. Like specifically, I remember seeing a preview for Spider-Man, and he catches the helicopter in a web in between the two
And
twin
I
towers.
saw that trailer. You can
Yeah.
still watch that online.
Yeah, but they
That's
pulled
our
that
YouTube
from
video.
the movie,
The-
and I was like,
the-
what the fuck?
The movie Big Trouble got delayed because it involved
yeah.
airplane.
Yeah,
I-
wasn't that Arnold
yeah.
Schwarzenegger or something?
No,
Oh,
Collateral
came out.
Damage also got pulled.
Okay.
I know because I worked at a movie theater when that was happening. I was actually the one tearing down posters for
Wow,
Collateral
really?
Damage.
Yeah, Collateral Damage was the one where he was like fighting terrorists on the plane, right?
Yeah.
Everyone
you know,
was
irony.
no, that was Passenger 51, right? Sorry. Shit. I remember everyone telling me like, oh, you've got to buy it like I had a VHS copy of Air Force One, and I was like, ooh, I better hang on to this. They're gonna pull all these off the
They were saying that
shelves,
about
you know what I
Die
mean?
Hard too. Yeah.
Yeah, there was such
Yeah.
just mass hysteria over it.
Yeah, and I think that makes no sense to me. Like, oh, we can't have it. Don't be reminded of it. Are you kidding me? It happened 4 days ago.
Yeah.
Like, how do
Yeah,
you not
yeah,
remember? Well, not only that,
And,
now it's 9/11. That's 2001, right? That's 8 years ago now. I mean, people still remember.
Yeah.
They
One
built
more
a memorial
nerd
for it.
movie fact. I also remember that they had to digitally remove the Twin Towers from the opening of Zoolander.
I was just going to say that, and they didn't have to do anything. That was ridiculous. The movie
See,
had
that's
already
the
been.
kind of
did.
shit
There
that
was-
pissed me off.
I
I was
know.
like, why would you do that? What
Yeah.
difference does it make? You know, I mean,
We're not
they
going to
were there
forget
to
that it
make it.
happened. Never
Yeah.
forget,
Yeah.
guys.
I
Never
think they
forget.
just don't want people thinking like, "Oh my God, why would?" Because there probably are enough idiots out there. They're probably taking like the idiot poll, who would be like, "Oh my God, I don't even want to be reminded of this.
Yeah.
Can I escape
It's like
to
filming
a movie?"
subways in Britain. They still film them. They're just not a lot there
Yeah.
anymore.
yeah.
Thankfully, Saturday Night Live came along and told us it was okay to laugh again.
Nice, right? Yeah, exactly.
Sweet.
That's right.
Giuliani,
Yeah.
thank you
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, I remember the Twin Towers solely from the opening credits of Law and Order. Like that's how I knew it. I saw that and I'm like, oh, there it is. Okay, I know. And then it's like I've said this little rant a lot in the last week, but when you buy a car and then you see the same car because
Regardless.
you're in that. Yeah, but regardless, that's how it was with the Twin Towers. Like then I watch old movies and I'm like, from the
Right,
80s
you
and
notice
90s,
it
and I
all
see
the
it,
time.
and I never would have known what the hell that thing was.
Yeah.
Thank God. No, never mind. I'm not even. Going
I dare you. I dare you.
Thank Jesus.
If you look at every,
But it's one of those.
beginnings-
Every time you see a New York skyline, the Twin Towers are in it. They were
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
they were
but it's-
obnoxious. They were targets. Can we be
Yeah.
fair?
Yeah.
And then, of course,
You're saying you kind of understand.
They
I'm
had,
sure
like,
you guys
fucking
all
bullseyes
saw the
painted on 'em. That's
conspiracy
not a good
movies
sign.
online and stuff. The
What's that?
conspiracy movie online. I can't remember what it's called, but
Loose change, right?
Loose
well, there's
change.
a few of them. There's one. It's not called that one, but it's the same thing, and they prove valid points, but it's after the fact, and I don't know.
The only thing I believe is Fahrenheit 9/11. That's it. That's the only movie I think is absolutely true.
But he doesn't say it was an inside job.
But it is a little crazy that the whole thing just fell so symmetrical, But who's to say? I don't know.
Well, we can get friend of the show Randy on here to talk about this.
Oh,
with
yeah,
you all
Randy
fucking
would- yeah.
day
Yeah.
long.
Randy from PB bonus episode
Yeah.
number 1.
Oh my god, Randy,
That
dude!
guy.
Randy comes in and tells me how the Jews are going to kill us all. Probably every 2 or 3 weeks.
His racist points of view are so Jew specific right now. It's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't even talk about conspiracies.
No,
anymore.
it's just
This
that-
guy works with you, right?
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
it's a Jew conspiracy.
Dude,
just-
seriously, like he is
Yeah.
so anti-Semitic, it's retarded.
Yeah,
Like,
I met
don't
him.
even get me
I
wrong,
met
like,
him once when we recorded with him.
how did
and
he
I don't
even
have
start?
any. I don't have anything against Jews. I don't
No.
care, but I mean, like, you do what you're gonna do.
Everyone knows they're cheap.
Everyone's got a fanatical
and they're
religion.
lawyers and doctors.
Yeah, I mean, they
not
they
to make a Jew joke around them. That's
yeah.
about all
I catered a
say.
Jewish wedding. That
I know
was
a guy.
pain in
I
the
work
ass.
with a guy that's Jewish, and
Look at
he
that
makes
Jew.
Jew jokes. It's really funny. Like, you'd never know he was Jewish because he drinks like and he's
Well,
really
Jews are
frugal.
allowed to
Never
tell
mind.
Jew jokes. We all learned that from Tim Watley on Seinfeld.
No, it was pretty funny. I did cater for a Jewish wedding. Some good local friends. Well, not local, but good friends. And I'm in line, like, serving food and stuff. And, like, the guy on the left and on the right of me are both Jewish. It's a Jewish wedding. They do the mazel tov. They lift the husband in the chair and stuff, But there is some hyper Jews that they're, like, rabbi status, They got the curly sideburns. And they got the
Hasidic.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just like pushing my elbow into the other guy next to me, going, "Hey, look at that! Never mind." We're serving the most popular dish was such a Jewish dish. It was hilarious. It was these noodles with raisins. And that's about it. It was like egg or white egg noodles and raisins and a little bit of like brown sugar, and then you bake it up, and it's like a casserole dish, right?
You
and
just
that's
lost
it.
me there.
Dude, it's so gross, but it is.
Well, they
sweet
mix it with
because-
like cream of mushroom or something.
maybe, I don't know. But it's like the thing that's hilarious is it was the most popular dish. It's a very classic Jewish dish, and I wish I could think of the name of it. But it had to have cost them $5
Yeah.
for 8 casserole pans of this shit, and they were flying through it, man. It was like, you Jews are so Jewish. Like, come on.
Well, that's why other
And they went back for
traditions-
like
so Jewish.
They went back for like thirds and fourths because they're like, hey, I'm not buying dinner, free lunch. But
I don't know who the first person to stereotype Jews was, but I'm sure they took into account things like that. Like, look at your fucking traditional meal.
Yeah.
Sugar and raisins and egg noodles.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
exactly.
Have you ever seen like a
Kind.
flat out Hasidic Jew up close?
Yeah, just recently we were
I only
at,
saw it when I visited New York.
we were
Speaking
at
of-
some kind of thing at the Arboretum in Yakima for little kids. And there was
Actually, I'm good.
there was a total Jew family, and all the little boys, along with their father, had like the crazy ringlets of hair. I kept thinking of Anakin Skywalker in Attack of the Clones.
There were a lot of Hasidic Jews there. I mean, and it was a great wedding. It was
I
an
see 'em a
outdoor
lot.
wedding, and
They
they
come
were all
along,
great
man.
people. The thing that was funny is I did this catering job, and it was as a favor to my buddy's parents. They got married at like 50, and it went off without a hitch, and it was really smooth. And all these Jews are like, "Do you have a business card? Why don't you have a business card? Don't you realize there's so many lawyers and doctors and stuff here? You could have really made a lot of money." And I'm like, "Sorry, I'm not Jewish. I don't immediately think of money when I do a gig. I was helping some people out. Sorry about that."
Whoa,
But they
whoa,
made a
whoa,
good
whoa.
point. I wish I would have had a business card. I would have
No.
been making a killing in Seattle
There's
right now.
nothing wrong with wanting to make
No,
money.
hell no.
That's all
No.
everyone else wants to do.
Yeah, they just do it better. It's in their blood.
Yeah.
It's just right forethought right there for them. They're just gonna instantly like, what are you gonna do? Oh, you guys' microphone set up. We should sell it.
They got a good setup too. I mean, if you really pull the card too, I was dating a girl who lived in Jordan,
good
and I wanted. Well, no, everybody. If you're really Jewish and you have like a family background, you can go to the Holy Land for free. Like they'll give you a trip and go and see Israel and everything.
That's true.
Go bang
Yeah,
your
no, it's
girlfriend
totally
in Jordan.
true.
Wow.
And I was so close. Like I got the book and I'm reading it, and I was going to get my
You're
free
kidding
ride
me.
out of
Become
Western
Jewish?
Washington University. I was going to become Jewish for
That's
a free
awesome.
ticket. But then
Usually
I
it's
was
to
like,
marry
I don't
a
really
girl.
believe in heaven or hell, but if there is such a thing, I'm pretty sure I'm going to hell if I'm milking a free ride to Israel, like claiming that I'm Jewish.
Well, maybe only if you're hating everything they're teaching you at the same time.
Yeah,
if you can be enlightened, You're like, okay, I'll be a Jew. That's fine. Now I can make Jew jokes guilt-free.
Yeah, exactly. It was
a lot of
interesting.
positives.
Like, the family that I worked for and all the Jews that I met because of that family are all great people, and they all have, like everybody else, has good hearts.
Yeah.
Like it was cool, and I was interested in it, but for all the wrong reasons. I just wanted a free flight because it was like $5,000 round trip to fly over to Jordan. So
God, that is somewhere I would not want to go.
no,
So
no.
boring. What are you gonna do there?
Have you
Well,
ever
we were
left
going
the
to go
country?
all over. Yeah.
Ever left the country, PJ?
Just Canada.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
I've been to I've been down on a cruise through the Caribbean.
That's it.
Yep.
Who's you
Man.
on that cruise with? Nice
My
piece of
family.
tail. Oh.
I was 13.
In that case, yeah.
It's one of those like
Was Tony H. the elder there?
I know. Yeah, he was. No, he wasn't that far along yet. No, I went on a cruise when I was like 13. My dad bought me and my older sister a cruise. Me and her and him and his girlfriend went. It
I've
was
never
fun.
been on a cruise.
It was a blast, but
you
I was
weren't.
13.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
exactly.
If I
I wanna
was to
go
go
now.
now,
Yeah.
it'd be
Exactly.
so much fun.
I never had the desire to go on a cruise.
seems
I
so
wouldn't want to go on a
cheesy.
cruise.
Oh,
I wouldn't
I'd
wanna do a cruise.
but
That's
yes, you would,
pretty
Nico.
cheap.
Come on, you
Dude, I am
especially.
not
No,
joking.
because see,
You
this
are
is why.
suited
You don't
for
want
a
to be
cruise.
confined.
This is
that-
why, because when I was
Sorry,
in
guys. We
Mexico,
had two separate conversations going on.
I went to Mexico for a few months, and when I was there, there are cruises nonstop that go through. And this is my beef with the cruise: is you're on the boat all the time. You are confined. It is all inclusive. That's cool. But they drop you off in select cities for anywhere from 4 hours to 10 hours, and that's all you
Yeah.
get. You know, they're like, here you go. So you have enough time to go to a grocery store, be the hyper tourist where you're just looking around with your camera. Oh, we got to go back on the boat, and then you go to the next city.
God, you're
So you
right.
see like Rio de Janeiro, you see Cabo, San Lucas.
See,
you
but I
see
don't
You
care
just
about
wanna
that stuff.
stop
I just-
and hang out though.
But that's
That's
it.
the
You
thing.
don't
I
even
wanna
have enough
leave. I
time.
don't want to get back on
I
the
know.
boat. You
What?
know?
Yeah.
But you will want to get back on the boat.
It was
Endless
funny
booze,
though. I
endless
remember
booze.
one
Like,
thing about the cruise that was kind of
it's just drinking on a boat. It sounds awesome. I don't care about Rio de Janeiro. Sorry,
I
Nico.
do. Don't you want to drink on the beach of Rio de Janeiro?
I know.
One of-
like,
doesn't really appeal to
not
me.
have to worry
One of the
about-
best things.
Can I
about,
leave my shirt on?
about the cruise
Why do you want
was
to go on a cruise to drink in your room?
Yeah, seriously.
like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just saying.
Hey, Nick,
Yeah,
we're on a
just-
cruise right now, bro.
You can lock yourself in
That's
your
not
bed.
true because I can't leave my bedroom and then go eat like an asshole at the
Yeah.
buffet.
And we
then
paid
come
for
back
this
and-
beer. Yeah.
you just stay at the bar. There's so much shit to do on it though, but it's totally an adult
Limbo,
thing.
I
But
hear
I'm
there's
not,
limbo.
I'm not a social person at all, so I'm not.
But it's
gonna
one of those
join.
you don't have to talk to anybody. You just walk around. You can do all the same shit. There's a
And
ton
I'm saying
of
we all,
shows every
we all
night.
go as a group. It'll be awesome.
Oh, yeah, if you went with
As
a
long
bunch
as
of
we have
friends
somebody to
and
hang
stuff,
out
yeah.
with.
That's
you
the
know?
way you go. You don't go by yourself.
Yeah.
Of course not. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
What'd
kinda
you do
weird.
last week? I went on a cruise. Really?
I'm embarrassed enough going to movies by myself.
One of the best things of being 13 years old was the nude sunbathing deck on the very top of the
Oh,
ship.
wow.
That was
Let me go
pretty
sneak a
awesome.
peek, huh?
Dude, I used to. I'd carry a beer so that I looked older. So I was 13, and I would walk right up the deck. If I can walk around a little bit, scope, drool, get a boner, and walk down.
You don't think anyone noticed that, Red, just because you were holding a beer? You don't think anyone
I know. I
noticed the guy
looking
just
back on it,
walking
dude. I
around
was
the
I was
deck?
smooth Joe then. Looking back on it now, I'm like, fuck. I'm glad no one arrested me.
But I'm pretty sure someone's honking my bike horn. Yep.
Sounds like
That's
it.
awesome.
So I have an old
Somebody's-
cruiser bike, and someone's honking my bike horn right now outside.
Is it kids?
Is it a kid or is it an adult? Because
Yeah,
then they
it's
might
a-
take it.
Yeah, it's got to be a kid.
Yeah, it was a kid
Yeah.
waiting for his mom.
I thought you were going to go
It's
out
a
there and
bad
yell at
thief
him.
as an adult if you're going to honk the horn before you steal the bike. honka, 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 honka. Wheel, wheel, wheel. Really? Give me a head start to catch
Hey,
you?
Nico, for the joke, will you go out there and yell at that kid?
Yeah, seriously.
Just
I need
open-
the blue cord.
just open-
I need the blue cord.
Just open the window and like lay
Yeah.
all the way out the window.
What are
and
you doing?
Scream at him.
Working in restaurants, like there's a lot of restaurants I've worked at where there's a relatively open view to the kitchen. Like if you're going to the bathroom, you can kind of see through the line. That's kind of like the restaurant I work at now. So little kids on their way to the bathroom, they'll stop and they'll look in the kitchen, and I'm always like, "What are you doing? Get out of here!" Because I remember being young, like that would freak me out. So I make him feel like he's really doing something wrong. Then I laugh. And,
But don't you remember hating that as a kid?
oh yeah, dude, that's why I do it. That's why I do it.
This just got done a lot.
What are
So
you
now I
looking
feel
at?
like I should return it.
We're just continuing the cycle.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Because the
Exactly.
same
doing
shit would
what's
happen to me.
rightfully yours. Like the kids who get paddled in Dazed and Confused, they say they're not going to do it when they're seniors, but you know they're going to fucking do it, right?
Right. Nico, I have actually a personal story. When you and my
That was
brother,
a brilliant analogy, by the way.
it was.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
didn't mean to cut you off right away.
I don't know if that was an analogy.
I don't know if it was brilliant.
You don't.
Why did that deserve a second laugh? I got a small first laugh, entirely appropriate, and then just burst of laughter.
Because I didn't catch the joke until like 10 seconds into it. Oh yeah, Nico, you don't just do that to kids. When you and my brother were working at the Outback, and then I came on as a dishwasher briefly before I got my rash. I knew I'd met you through PJ before, but I didn't really know you that well. And it was like my first or second day, and you're coming back with like dishes, and you throw it over, and you like yell something vicious at me, like "Shut the fuck up back there," or something. And I was like, "Dude," I wasn't sure if I knew you or not.
I
was
remember
like,
it was like, why do these new guys always got to move so fucking slow?
Oh, that's what you said. That's right. And I was so freaked out anyway, you know. I was like, this guy is a dickhead.
Yeah, I love doing that to new people in restaurants. Like, why are you always in the way? Because when you start a new job, you always feel like you're in the way. You got to follow someone and stuff. And so I try and indulge in that as much as possible and be like, get out of my way, man.
I want to make them feel as awkward as possible.
Yeah. We have this new busser who is, I'm pretty positive it's the first time that he's ever worked in a restaurant. And he does a good job, but he's new at it. He doesn't know what's going on. And we're dead one night. I come into work at 5 p.m. and we are dead. There's no one in there. There's like 2 tables in the whole restaurant that we could probably seat, I don't know, 30, 40 tables. We'll say 40. And so I'm outside smoking. I'm like, well, fuck this. It's fucking dead in there. I'm just going to sit out here and smoke some cigarettes. And he comes to work rolling in all casually, and I'm like, hey, bro, so you know Diego, one of our other bussers, the only one on there, he's getting slammed right now. He's going to need you. So he has got to go upstairs to get his apron. So instead of walking up there casually, he comes running upstairs to get his apron. Then he comes jogging back down. I'm like, dude, you're going to have to pick up the pace, man. We are slammed right now. And so he literally darts inside, and he gets in there and sees 2 tables. And he's like,
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's restaurant humor, you know.
Yeah.
We used to make people get air samples. We'd have a
We
bag.
did that at Outback. Yeah,
we'd have
dude,
a
that
bag
was so much fun.
full of air that you put a piece of tape on there with a date and like some weird random number, and then you tell the new person, "Hey, we need air samples." So they're running around the restaurant with this big giant garbage bag.
I swear to God, it
Yo,
worked.
it
We had
works.
people. There was one time I had the new person get air from the freezer to put it into the walk-in to cool the walk-in down with a garbage bag. It was fun.
We used to have people get ice mix because we worked one of the.
You don't see
restaurants I
yourself
worked at-
falling for that? Your
Not
first
that.
date?
There was
I get so nervous on the
there-
first date.
there was one
I'll
that
buy
I
into
fell for.
anything.
Yeah.
There's one that I fell for, and it was empty all the hot water.
Yeah, out of the coffee
dude,
maker.
that was
my
such a
next one. That was
classic.
good.
Because that
That's a
one
good
is
one. Wait, what?
semi-believable.
It's a direct line into the water line, and so
It just
you pull
heats
the
up
thing
on
up
its
and
way
it's
to
like
the
the hot
Oh,
water.
I see.
So
It'll
you have
never
to drain
stop.
it out.
You get someone to fill up like 7 pitchers.
So you
full.
just sit
Yeah.
there
Dude,
and
we did
watch
that
him
to,
for like an hour?
We did that to the asset. The asset filled up like 11 pitchers.
Wow.
It was Nick and I were closing with him. We're like, empty the hot water.
Yeah, you got to empty it. We got to do this once a month.
That is
you
a
know?
pretty good one.
Ice Mix was stupid because we worked across the street. Across the street was another restaurant, so we'd have the new people take a 5-gallon bucket and go across the street for Ice Mix, and so they go there, and we call them up, and we'd have them get anything. You know, if it was really an ice mix, like water and ice in a bucket, or if it was just ice, or if it's just water, and then we'd have them bring back water, and we're like, now put that in the freezer, and we got to give it back to them. You know, whatever. Like,
It was fun doing the voice-activated credit card machines, too. 'Cause you
No,
tell them they have to
come
look at
on,
it.
you're
That
making
worked.
them up.
I swear to God, that one worked, too. You tell them, okay, you have to look at it, look at the card, say into the credit card machine what it is, Visa, and then swipe it. But it was good because you get everybody on the floor doing it. Like, okay, everybody has to do this. So the next time they're working, they're like, Visa, swipe, and they're just looking at them like, what? It's
That is
awesome, dude.
hilarious.
Well, you had to get all, like a couple of the servers doing it so that they
Yeah,
knew, like,
yeah.
da-da-da.
Yeah.
I am glad I am in on the inside tip because I'm unemployed, and if I work as a busboy somewhere, I'm going to know you guys is shit.
or like when you drop a steak and then you pick it up and you spit on it and pee on it and then serve it. Oh, I love that joke.
Yeah, that's my
that joke's so
favorite.
fun.
Yeah, that one's that
My
one's a
favorite is-
classic. Nick.
Looking
That's
at
a
you, what
classic.
joke?
My favorite is what can you hide under the food that they might find.
Yeah, exactly. Like Band-Aids and stuff. I love cutting into my steak or cutting off a piece of
Honestly,
bloody
another
Band-Aid.
good one that actually worked too. Joel told me this. He sent a
Fuck
hostess.
that guy.
Dude, he sent a hostess to the Blockbuster to get the training video. And she went and got it for like a half an hour. I was pissed off because the manager at Blockbuster was like, "We don't have your training video." She's like, "No, call my
No,
boss
that-
right now. He sent me down here to get it. It's here. I got to get it." And she was all mad. Hostesses aren't smart anyway.
At Olive Garden-
Nothing on your wife. Your wife was a smart hostess.
That's fine.
Okay.
At Olive Garden, there's one. It's the rookie cookie, and it's in the bar. There's the espresso machine, and it drops out like the, pressed whatever, and it's
Yeah.
perfectly round. And you put a little whipped cream on it, and you give it to somebody. Like someone who's new, and you're like, this is just Olive Garden dessert.
Oh, it's just coffee. Like
yeah,
espresso.
and they just
Yeah.
eat like ground wet espresso.
That
beans.
is awful. That's
Yeah.
me.
We used to over at the Keg Steakhouse. There was a dishwasher. It was a classic career dishwasher. The guy's like 45, obese, socially inept, can't talk to anybody. Nice guy, but he's a
Sounds
dishwasher
like it.
for life. Like
It's our uncle.
yeah. So
And where Nick was headed to be with that. Thank God, it's a good thing you scare newbies.
yeah, exactly.
That's what got
Scared
Nick
him
out
out
of
of his
it.
career
No.
choice.
The rash got me.
Or
The rash got
rashes,
me.
or a bit
The
mad.
chemicals gave me a rash, Red. Don't
I
lie.
know. I
believe
remember
it.
seeing
Yeah,
it. I was like, "Holy fuck, what's wrong with you?"
But we
That's
used
right.
to,
You were there for that.
Yeah, dude, I remember that shit.
We'd have it's kind of a standard thing in a lot of restaurants to have a 5-gallon tub of butter, like because you use butter on everything you cook, and so why buy it in bulk. So anyway, we'd have an ice cream scoop, and we'd take a big ass scoop of butter and we'd put it on in this cup, and then we'd put hot fudge and whipped cream and a cherry on top, right? And you leave it like in the alley to where someone goes, "Oh, is this a mistake? Oh, okay." And you even put a spoon in there, so all they
Yeah.
got to do is just grab it.
They call that vulture food. In
Oh
the
yeah, it's
business.
Yeah,
vulture
dude.
food, exactly.
But
so
this one works.
Oh, this one works all the time because people always see it and they're like, "Oh, cool!" And then they take a big ass mouthful of butter. But this dishwasher, he was notorious for he was kind of that guy. Like if you didn't finish your dessert and it went to the dish pit and there's a piece of cake and hot fudge, he would scrape it up with his fingers and he'd eat the rest of your dessert. Gross, right?
Yeah.
But he's a big fat guy and that's what he does. I mean, he'd eat the chicken
With
off
no
the bone,
shame.
And so I leave that there. Everyone's wise to the scene. And he walks by and he takes it into the dish pit. And being a good dishwasher, I'm going to wash it. But I'm like, no, this guy's going to eat it. And he took like 3 or 4 bites of it. I was just watching him like, oh my God, you don't even know that's just butter. Like he's just and I'm laughing my ass off. And I'm telling people, hey, remember the buttered ice cream thing I did? And like, yeah. I'm like, well, Dan, the dishwasher, he just ate a bunch of it and didn't even pick up on it. And like, no way. And I'm like, look at his beard. He had a big full beard. And he had whipped cream all over the top of his beard because he was just mowing it down, dude. Oh, it was hilarious. Like, that's what you get. Stop eating other people's food off the plate, you dirtbag. But,
That's
Don't
pretty
you
gross.
ever eat off of somebody's
oh, you know what?
plate?
No, definitely. Like,
If
it
there's
really
No, I
depends on
don't.
the
Do you
situation.
really? Like,
It
you-
depends on the
Wow,
situation,
wow.
what
I'll
it is.
tell you
if
the
I
last
know
time
them,
I
if
did
I
it.
know them, like
Yeah.
if you're like if you came in and I wouldn't eat after you.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I'm just kidding.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
No, like if I know the person and like they didn't finish their steak, I'll take a bite of their fillet because it's good.
That's what I'm
You know
saying.
I mean?
See-
But like if I don't know you,
Oh, yeah.
I'm
That's
talking
just
about
gross.
on your way to DMO or the
Dish machine
pit.
operator is an
You,
Olive Garden term. They give you a fancy name.
Like you have from your table that you're pre-bussing to there to take something off the plate and pop it in your mouth before anybody
It
sees.
truly depends on what it is. Okay,
No.
for instance, we have tempura shrimp or shrimp in a tempura batter. They fry them up and they come with 5, and they eat 2 of them. So there's 3 left, and
Yeah.
on the look of the plate, if you can pretty much tell that that's the same spot that the cook left it, because we always put it in a certain area.
see that's what
Sometimes
I
I'll
look at.
What
too.
if they're
I could see
testing
that,
you
but that's
Yeah.
not something they've taken a bite out of.
No,
and
no,
you're taking
yeah,
out the
exactly.
dish. That's
So
the
then it
difference.
also depends. This is where it gets a little gross, but I've done it, and I'm not afraid to admit it.
Apparently
it depends
not.
on the customer. Sometimes you have a nice, a happy couple. They're married. They're pretty well to do. They're wearing nice clothes, and you know
I have
they're
a
going to
perfect
tip
example
well.
of this.
And they order a 16-ounce New York steak, and the wife orders it, and she wants it, say, medium rare, but it comes out rare. She's too nice to say anything, so she eats 2 bites and just gives it to you. Like, I don't want it. It was really good, rather than saying, hey,
Yeah.
can you just cook it up or anything?
Yeah.
But she's like, nah, it's fuck it. I'll pay $35 for this steak that I took 2 bites out of. I will cut where she ate, and I'll work on some of the other side, like where it was obviously not touched. But
That's
it's
yeah.
few. That's if I'm
Well,
really
you were so
starving.
against us at first.
I've worked in places where like we serve crab, and this dude would
Oh,
take crab to the dish pit and just fork out like the shoulder part that they didn't get to, and I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
they
no,
just
I couldn't do
ate
that.
on that. That's gross.
Yeah.
Like their fork went in their mouth, back in the crab, back in their mouth,
Yeah.
and now to you, and you're
Yeah,
eating
that-
it.
that
There's
is gross.
simple
That is
rules,
gross.
like even for instance with Olive Garden, I won't eat pasta. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way.
No
There's
way.
a line right
No
there.
There's no
way.
way. You can't do that. I may eat someone's like a part of their salmon fillet. Again, the side that wasn't touched. Maybe.
See, that's exactly what I did. Was what happened was a lady and her husband, and they were pretty well to do. You know, they looked nice. She ordered lasagna and like couldn't even hardly start it. You know what I mean, like that. And
She ate
I
all
never
her
had
soup and salad
lasagna
first.
before. And I was just curious. Oh, I
You've
wonder.
never had lasagna
No.
before?
And I was just
What,
curious. Like, I was
Really?
such a picky eater as a kid. I just
Damn.
wouldn't eat
Oh
stuff.
yeah, there's some stories.
So I was like, I've never had it before. I was in the mood, and I cut an edge off of it, from the side that she wasn't eating on, and I thought it was pretty good, pretty bland. But
The funny thing too is because it is a faux pas.
but for the sake of bleeping names, there's this guy who you both know. That guy will take like
I
a
could see
kid's
that, though.
half-eaten chicken strip
Yeah.
and shove the whole thing in his mouth. Just
Yeah.
pop it in his mouth.
I've seen people eat burgers, like half-eaten burger. They'll finish it
That's-
for the customer. Like,
Oh,
Your
man.
mouth is
There's so
on.
many things.
gnarly.
Yeah, there are
You-
things
you-
being
you-
absorbed
oh,
into
yeah.
the bun. That's gross.
Your gums are rubbing on it
Yes,
when you eat it. You're
exactly.
Like,
it's
gross.
definitely
and it's
has-
ground beef, so it gets in there
Oh,
and
yeah,
it mixes
yeah.
up. Sorry.
I'm
Eating
glad we
from
got
the
on
other
this
side
subject.
won't save you.
Me too.
Because it is a faux pas, and I can say that I have occasionally done it. And it is funny, even though I have my weird little rules and justifications on when I could eat that food, it's still funny having someone watch you. And they're like, "Oh, really? You're eating off that customer's plate?" Usually when I get caught, it is people I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's my buddy.
Yeah.
No worries.
See, I have no
No
problems
shame,
with
no
that.
shame.
Like,
Yeah,
I really
not at
don't.
all.
Like, if I know you and I think you're clean, I'll eat after you. But
Yeah.
and again, it's like I don't know. I can't do it.
That
Can't
same
do it.
page, I think we're on the same page, Red. I don't know if I would eat off of your plate. I don't think you'd eat off mine. We share enough. We don't need to share food.
Exactly. Oh God.
But say I go in there and I have a tempura shrimp. It's rearranged when you see it, and you're like, "Oh, he's probably just fucking with me." Are you gonna pop those in your mouth?
If it was
It's really-
you,
Yeah, with
I would eat
you,
one. Maybe.
Mr. Piss in my ice cube tray and put it in my freezer. Yeah, I think there'd be
Did
something
you guys
fishy.
on the show tell the story
Yes,
what happened
we
at
did.
Ice
We
Cube
did.
Tray?
Yeah,
We did, episode
Do you want to
40.
know? Irony, I saw her last weekend.
The girl that
The girl that
licked
licked the ice cube tray.
Oh yeah.
Anybody that wants that story,
I think we said it.
Go back to episode 41. That's where that is.
Yeah.
Is it? Nice. It's funny that you like catalog those in your brain so well.
That's my only
I
job.
feel like
on
that was
this.
on episode 13. Oh, we didn't talk about that again until episode 26.
Oh man!
Wow.
If I can start some shit talk, Red told me once. He's like, "Tell your brother I got it on the exposition."
Oh yeah, that
Not
would
to
be
say-
shit talk, except for he already told me that.
Okay. We were playing poker.
You're
one
right
night.
though. I do it too much.
It
I
was
do
funny.
too
Like,
much.
don't get me wrong. It's funny that like I told PJ that, and like I didn't.
I'm sure several times it's helpful.
But it's one of those things. I was like, dude, I get that you guys talked about it before. I listened to the show,
but
And
not
it-
everybody does. Some people are just coming on board.
Don't
you know?
get me wrong, but now you're like 50 episodes in,
that's
and
helpful.
there's a couple more people listen.
At least a couple, Red. At least a couple.
No, dude, I actually really like your guys' show now. Not to kiss your ass that I'm in your house by
but
any means. I'm
he's-
just
We
saying.
encourage it.
Even with so many episodes, like the thing is, you can still, like you already said, like, "Oh, that was in episode 8."
That was, I
Like,
think,
as
my
far
point
back
is I
then.
was like, you said that already in this episode.
Oh yeah,
So
I tend
that's
to do
where I
that,
was like,
yeah.
okay, like I get that you reference back and that's good, but don't say it again during the
Okay.
same episode.
Have I done that this episode?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
Well, be
yeah,
sure to call me
honestly,
out,
ever
though.
since
Be
I
sure
said
to call me
something to
out.
PJ, I haven't heard you say have you do it. So I don't know if I had influence on
You
that
just
or if
stopped
he told you
listening.
before. Or whatever. Yeah.
You're just like, I haven't heard it at all. You're doing good now.
Yeah, dude, you guys are great.
You guys listen for PJ. My friends listen for me. Okay, and they appreciate the exposition.
Your friends would.
I know.
Don't lie. Your friend listens.
I'm actually really upset right now.
My
Why?
pit stain has something to say.
He actually put his mic up to his pit stain.
It is
People
so
gotta use that
fucking
pop
hot
stopper.
right now.
That's because we
That's-
can't have the fan on. It'll make too much
Oh, I
noise.
know. And it's like
Nick, why are you so
102
upset?
degrees.
Why are you upset?
I was pretend upset.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh.
You ruined it.
Yeah, I got freaked out. I didn't ruin anything.
I got a
wanted
little
to say
worried.
my
I was like, bro,
brother
I wasn't trying to be offensive. I'm sorry.
No, not at all, Red.
Like, you have balls to make a podcast. That's pretty cool. Okay, you guys kind of say whatever you want on it. That's badass. And then you get letters from lawyers and shit.
Not
We
yet.
love
not yet.
no letter
Episode
from a
53,
lawyer.
if we're going to be an exposition.
It was
I love
episode
that.
53.
Oh, I love that one, dude.
Is that the April Fool's episode?
Yeah, no,
No,
it's the
no,
one
it's
where
the
he
legit
calls
one.
the
Oh, see, I
Planned
haven't heard
Parenthood
that one
lady, and
yet.
he's like, I'm going to get you.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna.
PJ made a really bad prank code. PJ made a really bad prank phone call in episode 53.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that was half the reason I wanted to come back for the trifecta on the third one is to make some prank phone calls. This is already a long episode, but there's so many good ones. My favorite prank phone call was you call some house and you just ask for Steve, and you know Steve doesn't live there.
This
it's
is
easy.
the oldest
Wait,
one in the
I
book.
love it. Let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes.
No, it's just that. I used to
Okay.
get in a lot of trouble, and they'd call the cops, and I used to always, because I prank called like crazy. So then I figured, okay, I got to do something that's innocent. So is Steve there? No, you have the wrong number. All right, well, when he gets there, can you have him give me a call? Yeah, but you have the wrong number. I know. He said that he was just going to go to the grocery store, but I really got to talk to him, so here's my phone number. And they're like, and you just try and talk to him as long as you can.
Yeah.
And keep him on the line.
I unfairly judged you prematurely. I thought you were going to say the one. It was is
Is your
Steve there?
refrigerator
No.
running?
No.
Is
I know
Steve there? No. Hey, is
Call back
Steve there?
again.
No. Hey, is Steve there? No. Hey, this is Steve. Has anyone called for me?
Oh, yeah, that is the oldest one in the book. That could have
lamest
been
one
one
in
of
the
my
book.
jokes.
Oh, I would
Mine
see. Oh,
only came from-
you're calling every time you ask if
call
Steve's
3
there.
times, yeah,
Okay,
the
I
same
get it now.
house,
Because
and
I was
4
like, you're
times
just
you-
saying that.
How do you know that someone's been looking for Steve at this
Yeah.
number? I've researched this phone number. A guy named Steve
Is
used
Steve
to have
there?
it.
No. Okay, is Steve there? No. Okay, is Steve there? No.
I was like, all
Okay,
in the
this
same
is
phone call.
Steve.
That's not funny.
Has anyone
All
called for
one
me?
call.
Yeah, you. Can we
Yeah,
get
he
done
didn't
with
really
this?
sell. PJ's no jerky boy. He didn't really sell that one.
Oh, I used to
Dude,
do a
I
lot.
love
The
the
funnest
jerky
part
boys.
of the
So
prank
funny.
phone call is just getting them to talk, like you say.
Yeah.
Just drawing them out into conversation.
Yeah. I saw this one. My mom sent it to me on an email. I may even be able to find it, but it's about car mechanics and how ladies
I don't answer
get,
those emails from my parents.
Oh man, my
The
mom is
forwards?
almost as bad as my grandmother. My grandmother, she sends me Republican prayer shit.
Wow.
You know, like
Really?
it's
Do you
like
have
the
some?
worst. I could probably find some. They're bad.
Sounds fascinating.
Can you
doesn't
print
it?
them out for me so I can take them home?
yeah. You go back to Jesus. But my mom, she sent me one. It was pretty funny. It was a radio station, and they called this lady acting like they were a mechanic, and they were it was horrible. I can't even think of the stuff that they were saying, but it was basically like, there's not enough air in your exhaust pipe, and so we have to put in this manifold that'll do that, and that's going to be $700. You know, do you want to do that? And she's like, oh, do I need it? They're like, you're going to need it if you want air in your exhaust pipe. I would assume that you want air in your exhaust pipe. And she's like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then they're like, all right, great. So we're going to do that. You know, and it went on from there. Like, your oil pan has a bunch of oil in it, and we're going to have to drain that. And
Wait a
then
minute. So
clean
this
it.
is the prank phone call.
It's a prank phone call, but
Wow.
it's like the best car mechanic to lady one that I've heard, because she's just like, okay, yeah, okay. The bill was something like $12,000, and she was like, I'm gonna have to talk to my husband. And then they were like, actually, your husband set us up for this because they said you were an idiot, pretty much, and so you just got pranked on by Bob and Tom on the mornings, you know.
Wait a minute. So it's a radio station?
It was a radio station
Because
that called.
I swear to God, yesterday, my wife calls me. Nick was there for some of it. My wife
I
calls
was there
me.
for that awkward phone call. Yes.
Some guy
The one you only hear
called
one side
her.
of.
Yes.
Now, you can Google someone's name and find out where they owe money. Some guy calls her and says, like, oh, you know, like, I have record of, like, a late fee you never paid this year and of a bounce check once at Pizza Hut and, like, 4 different separate things where my wife is like, oh, you know, I do remember that. And who knows if she even does. And he tells her this is the one day only that she can come to him and pay off all this stuff for a low $180.
Tomorrow. Did he say low?
Yeah,
Low.
pretty much. That's how I picture it. And tomorrow,
I know. I think you're exaggerating.
Did he
Tomorrow
say-
it's
did he
gonna
say
be
one day sale,
$1,800.
Sunday.
I'm serious. Tomorrow it's going to be $1,800. Like, how does that not sound like your example was
Sounds
a prank
ridiculous.
phone call?
Yeah.
Mine is like
You guys trying to get 100.
if it was so
crack.
successful on the Bob and Tom radio show,
Oh, yeah.
like, oh, and your husband set this up, like, just send us a check. That's all you would have to say next.
Yeah.
That lady would have done it.
No,
I blame Bob and Tom for my wife getting conned out of
I got
$180.
conned.
She didn't give the
yesterday.
guy $180, did she?
I
Yeah,
got-
she did.
No.
I'm a
Nuh-uh,
complete
really?
fucking
Okay,
asshole.
but
Your wife did that? That surprises me a lot.
Yesterday.
She's pretty smart.
I'm the biggest fucking asshole on earth because I'm suggesting that she is so
And that's all you were doing
stupid.
is you were suggesting.
She
we
was-
don't know at this point. Maybe it will go towards debt. Who knows?
Yeah, okay.
I would look that up
But I'm
today.
saying, like, let's
I
be
know. Why didn't we
careful.
look it up yesterday?
I'm just saying that, like, let's think about this. This can't be the only one day. They just call you. What if you didn't have your phone?
The one day only thing is bullshit.
I had someone get a hold of me texting me like, "Hey, I lost my phone. I have these numbers. Blah blah blah. Who is this?" And it was an Arizona number, and I was like, "Fuck! I lost my phone when I moved up here. Maybe it's someone trying to get a hold of me." So I fucking text them back. I'm like, "Hey, this is Red. Blah 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 blah. Who is this?" But they just kept shooting questions back at me like, "Oh, how old are you again? I totally forgot. And what do you look like?"
Weird.
And it was like they
This
were
is all
trying
text?
to
All
get
text?
all through text. And I was like, and then after they were like, "Oh wait, what's your birthday?"
Did you think it was
Blah,
like
blah.
one of
And
your
then
kids or something?
I thought it was like
On his
an
birth
illegitimate
certificate?
child looking
Yeah.
for me. I was like, "Wow, like thank you for finally finding me. My life would be complete." Which one are you again?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I meant one of your
Yeah.
kids who you know about. Like, no, he's just prank calling you from the next.
No, his texts are.
I'm gonna
I could totally
freak
tell
out
when it's him.
Dad.
He spaces like 9 times between every word. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm like, you only need 1 space, but he does 9.
Oh, he's on the 9-space system.
Yeah, exactly.
I got scammed once.
Well,
I
hold
was-
on, Red didn't finish
Oh.
his story.
No, that was it. I mean, wasn't a lot more to it than
You
that.
haven't known Red as long as I have.
Never-
I knew he was done.
Never figured out who it was.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was.
Okay.
But they kept asking for really personal information.
Yeah, that's really
and
weird.
I was like,
especially through
and then
text.
I go into the bank like 3 days later, and up on the screen is like, "Be careful of prank texting
Wow.
con artists."
That's weird.
And I was like, they're just getting numbers. But mine's from Arizona, so I think it was someone down there, obviously. But still, like it's a big deal. Like people are. I mean, it's so easy to get people's information now.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
If you can anywhere you
If you're an
go-
idiot,
well,
sure.
not really, but I mean,
Not
look at,
really,
like,
dude.
how
or
many-
PJ's wife.
have you ever ordered anything? Have you ever?
I've accidentally thrown out like credit card offers before. It's been like, oh my god, dude! Like my name and an
Yeah.
application for a credit card was
For
on
you.
there.
Yeah.
Like
No,
they
You talking
could
about
just throw-
online?
What they started doing?
No, I'm talking about
quite a few
snail
years
mail
ago.
that I get.
Oh, okay.
Like I'll throw it out in the dumpster, and there's
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I
There's
had
a bum
I
out
had
there
checkbooks
every
stolen like that one
hour.
time when my kid's mom and I split up. We had a full thing of checks. They used to give in the boxes, and this is why I don't use. This is one reason why I don't use checks anymore. Period. But I threw out the checks, and not 6 months later, I had like 4 checks written around town that were in my checks, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? Like that account's not even open anymore."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they're
Yeah.
passing out checks, and I was in collections, and they were like charging me 3 times the amount. And I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not me.
I was washing my car. For those who don't know, I drive like a 1978 Corolla.
Nobody
It's-
knows.
I know, I know exactly.
Yeah.
But no, the
Why
reason
gotta
I
be
say
flashing
this,
your bling,
the
bro?
reason I got to say this, it's an old car and it's vintage and it's hard to
I
find.
brought my
and all
steering
this.
wheel in. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's gonna steal the car.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really hot
Who
item.
used to do that?
No,
The guy from Mannequin used to do that.
I worked with a guy. Andrew
McCarthy.
from
who did that. Actually,
He would take it off his Jeep and carry
In the
his-
movie
In
Mannequin
the movie
or in
Mannequin,
real
or
life?
like the guy
in
himself?
the movie Mannequin.
Oh, okay.
I worked with a guy who did that. He had a detachable steering wheel, and he used to drink a lot. And he subsequently got a couple DUIs. But when he got too wasted, we just steal the steering wheel. We're like, go ahead, bro. Anyway,
Good
so
looking out.
I'm washing my car in
That's
my
like
back
taking my
alley,
steering
and
wheel
I
out.
live in kind of like a not quite a skeezy area, but it's
a
not the
kike
best
area.
Yeah. Not the best area. In the back alley,
kike
washing your
area.
car, whatever. Some random
Jewish
guy shows
neighbors.
up, and he's got this big tattoo on his neck, which should have been the first red flag, and he's got tattoos all over, but they look like jail tats, and he looks like he's cracked out. He comes up, and he's like, hey, nice car, blah, blah, blah. And my grandfather just passed away. Make it 4. Just
Sorry,
passed
we're getting
away.
here.
And he used to have a junkyard, and he's got all these cars, and I'm pretty sure that he has 3 of these same cars. And I'm like, really? These cars are kind of rare. Are they 4-doors? Oh yeah, they're 4-doors. Yeah, blah blah blah. He was like, in fact, I think it's the same color as your original. I think it's this pumpkin orange. Blah blah blah. And if you want them, I'll sell them to you. I got to get them off the lot today. I got to do it today. And I was like, well, I don't know, man. And he was like, all I need is gas money. I got this big long truck, and I'll give you 2 of them. And I was like, I don't have anywhere to put them. He's like, all right, I'll tell you what. You can put them right over here in this public parking lot, and you'll have 60 days to take what you need, and then you can get rid of them from there. And I just need $20. And I was like, all right. And me being me like a jackass, I give him 25 in good faith. I'm like, all right, man, if this comes through, then here's 25 bucks. I'll throw you 5 extra bucks for hooking me up. And he's like, oh, okay, cool, man. Let me write you a receipt. Okay, so I go into my house. I get a pen and paper. He writes, I, Robert Davis, which is the most generic fucking name ever, sold to Nick Orlando 2 1978 Toyota Corollas for $20 for the price of gas. It's a gift. Signs his name, prints his name, And
That's a good one.
Never saw him again.
That's
and so
a good
I'm
one.
like, I go to work, I'm all stoked. I'm like, I either just got 2 cars for $20 or I got ripped off. And, whatever. It's $25, so I can handle if I get ripped off. And then I get ripped off, and another buddy of mine, Haugen, laughing his ass off about it. Oh, you just got gypped. He's like, I got 3 cars, man. I just need $30, this kind of thing. Like, I'll bring it right to your house, bro. But his good friend runs it's like a junkyard, or they're gonna open up a car sales.
They have
place.
it. It's down.
They
It's
have the
Cash
property.
Money Auto.
Oh, is it up and
Yeah,
going now?
it's been up and going for like 6-8 months.
I don't know about that. Well,
Yeah, Cash Money Auto, dude. It's in Wapato.
okay, yeah. Well, yeah. So that's what he's
Plug.
working
I'm
on.
gonna go try to buy a car from him.
Well, he got hit by the
They
same
only sell
guy.
to Indians.
This same scam artist went to a car parts store and started asking people if anybody needed a car. And someone was like, I have a buddy who owns this car shop. He could use some. And so, oh, yeah, I got a ton of these cars. I just got to get rid of them because my grandpa passed away. That guy, Haugen's buddy, comes to the car shop and gives them $300 for something like 30 cars or
No
something,
way.
dude. It was like the guy only
was
wanted
moving up in the
yeah,
line.
the guy only wanted $100. He's like, if you give me $100, I'll make sure that I get these 12 cars to you. And he's like, dude, it's a good enough deal. I trust you. Here's $300. Bring me 3 loads, and never saw him again.
Wow.
And the guy's good at what he does. The son
Yeah,
of a bitch.
it sounds like it.
I always said to myself, if I ever saw him, I was just going to hit him with my car and be like, all right, there we go.
Just
We're
say
even.
he's on his bike. Hit him with his
Yeah,
car.
use your $20.
Use your $20 worth. This Band-Aids.
Exactly. I've never seen him again. Honestly, I think I saw him one time in the back alley, and it was someone who looked just like him walking toward my house, and I just got out of my car, and when I got out of my car, he stopped and turned around and walked the other way, and I think it was him.
Was he a black guy?
No, he's white.
Oh.
Totally trashy. He's got, like, missing teeth from
That was the
previous...
most racist question.
yeah. Oh,
I
he's
think
got to
I-
be
it's
black
not
to
racist
scam me.
to
I
ask.
think that if you said yes, I was gonna make some
I think-
like
Yeah, I
obvious
should have, just
I
for the
think
sake of
the
argument.
guy's following the golden rule. You can shear a sheep many times, but you can only skin it
Oh
once.
my god! First of all, let's quote Rounders. All fucking episode.
so waiting for it. Like I was waiting.
But that wasn't the right time. That wasn't
Because you interrupt me with your black joke. I was so good right after you, but then you had your black joke.
You're right. You did kind of step on him, PJ.
That was
You
like
did.
you got to learn when to walk away from the joke.
Learn
setup
when to
is
hold
gone.
him and learn when to hold him.
See, that was well placed, Nico.
See?
Nice job.
That's how you got to do it.
Yeah, it wasn't a
That's all right.
Rounders quote.
It's
though.
my third
No,
time.
no,
It's
no.
my
That
third
was a
time on the
Rounders
show.
quote.
That's his first.
Learn when to hold him and know when to fold him.
It's
No,
a Kenny
that's
Rogers
all-
joke.
No.
Rogers.
Yeah.
No, I was
I
thinking
have
about
that on
the
vinyl.
shoot.
The-
mini-
the
We're gonna end the
proper-
episode with it.
The
Don't worry
proper
about it.
quote would have been, always know when to throw in a shitty hand.
Yeah.
As soon as you know it can't win, throw it away.
Yeah.
That's what it would have been. That would.
I like that red. Like I don't even think that you just know all the lines of Rounders just because you've watched it so much. I think you've studied it.
Oh, I
And
love
you're
that.
like,
It's literally
you
my
can
favorite
shear
movie.
a
dude.
sheep many times,
But you can only
can
skin him
only
once.
Skin him once.
Yeah.
I will not burn my bridges.
I think your money.
I will
That's all
not
I'm gonna
walk
say.
out of
Dude,
the
I don't know.
alley.
I fucking love that movie, dude. I can't get over it. I love
It's
it.
a
to
good
death.
movie. I haven't watched
It's
it.
money.
I always look at it when I'm going to bed. What movie I'm going to watch?
It's oh,
I
it's
always think
it's
about
I
it.
it's,
think you've.
it's sad to say it's been my fall asleep movie for years and years, and
Years
then
and
and then I
years.
found Underworld, and that's my fall asleep movie.
My fall asleep movie used to be Beautiful Girls.
I do remember
Like Beautiful
that, yes.
Girls in Cancun. or-
Yeah.
Very touching love
Too hot.
story.
Beautiful Girls.
TV.
You know Joe Francis' Opus.
Very touching love story. Natalie Portman's in it. She's like 13.
See, I
She's
like
hot.
Underworld because Kate Beckinsale wears skin tight leather the whole movie.
But you're going to bed, Red. Just calm down the testosterone for
I
it.
can't help it.
Go to
She's
bed.
fucking hot.
You're
wants
just
good
praying
dreams.
for that day you have like an honest to God Kate Beckinsale dream.
Or at least a tight leather. Yeah.
That's pretty sad. I'm always hoping for is a Beckinsale dream.
He's hoping for the Pudgeon to come in tight leather. anyway.
I would hope. I've had many dreams like that.
That's
I'm
a
not gonna lie.
foul.
That was gross.
Oh,
really
man.
foul visual.
You
I
would
got.
see every flaw and those nipples. Right, I remember you used to say about the Pudgeon, dude, I don't want to fuck her. I just want to see what those nipples look like.
Dude, seriously, she had her
She
headlights
would-
on.
she would
100% of
Oh,
the
nip.
she was always
100%
nipping.
time.
She
Yeah,
would
nipping
nip
out.
out, and you could tell through her shirt, and if she
Sure,
was wearing
Outback
a bra,
shirt. Have you seen those?
that
They're
she
ridiculous.
had
Yeah, no kidding.
disgusting
Ugly shirts, yeah.
nipples. You could tell right then.
I think they were just always hard. I think she had
Yeah.
fake boobs.
It's like 102, as I've said before.
the worst
No,
boob
she doesn't
job
have fake
ever.
boobs.
You don't
No,
think so?
I don't think so.
I think that's why she was nipping out all the time.
It makes
Sometimes when
sense
you get
'cause
fake
some
boobs,
people have weird
it
your
happens.
nipples just always
Yeah,
stay
It
hard.
happens.
It does happen.
It
I've
could be
seen
something
yeah.
she's putting in her bra because she knows
Like
that
nipples
there's
or,
weird
like
perverts
ice?
like you that will be like, oh, she's such a cunt, but at least her nipples are sticking out
I didn't
all
say
the
they look
time.
good. I wanted to see them. It's more of a curiosity factor.
Man, you would have fucked her in a
I had a
second.
chance to fuck her. I didn't.
Was she married?
No, she was single, living across the street from me.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a great apartment you guys lived
Yeah,
in.
it was.
That
fun.
was good times
good
at
times.
Ridgemont High, man. That was
Seriously.
something. That was
I went to
fun.
one party over there. She lived there with Rhino.
She called
Yeah.
the cops on us one time.
Yeah.
Really?
I was
Yeah.
pissed.
Yeah.
That is
It's a low blow. We're all restaurant workers. You know,
Not
we
only
all
that,
work
but
late.
we know it was her because we went to every single house and we're like,
And
hey, we're going to have a big party tonight. If you have any problems, please
Call
let
us.
us know
Yeah.
right away. Here's our numbers. We were such good neighbors aside from
when
being
it
up
came
at like
from
5
that,
in the morning and
we
partying hard.
drank all the time and had loud parties, but we were responsible about it. Like, hey,
I don't know. I
we're gonna have a
remember
really
being over
loud
there.
party. So if you have a problem, please call us.
Yeah,
Don't
I
call
mean,
the
we
cops.
went on
We'll
to
calm it
all of
down.
our neighbors. Like, all of our neighbors knew us as the fucking
Yeah,
party
the
house. That's
asshole
the annoying
partiers,
one in the
but-
neighborhood.
I remember, like,
but at least they could have called us.
probably
Yeah.
pissing onto their decks, but definitely like falling over trees
Oh,
onto their
yeah.
decks.
Do you remember
and
when we
stuff
went and banged on mailboxes in houses one night and the cops came up on us?
yeah,
It was a while
Nico
ago.
came up with the greatest fucking lie ever.
Let's hear it.
I gotta try to remember. Remember when we were when we were inward knocking, and we were running away, and these cops stopped us, and we had jumped over a fence or something like that.
Yeah.
And Nico ripped his pants, and the cop was like, "Well, why is your pants all ripped up?" And Nico was like, "This is a pretty embarrassing story, but if you want to hear it, I'll tell you." I haven't done laundry in like 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
this is literally the only pair of pants I had left. We weren't doing anything wrong.
The other funny part about it was too is this is about you, PJ. When the cop looks at you and he's all, it kind of looks like you have urine on your pants.
Oh yeah,
And you were like, "This is really embarrassing. I took a leak outside. I guess I didn't shake well
You told the
enough."
cop you took a leak outside?
I guess,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah,
just
dude,
now remember
that was funny too. I was like, and then the guy made me take my jacket off, and I was like, okay, he wanted to see if I had any tattoos. I think he was hitting on me. It was a little
Yeah,
weird.
this is getting a little hot, I was going to say, yeah.
But come on, we were just knocking on doors.
Yeah.
And the cop knew it was us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Who else
It was-
could it
yeah.
be?
But how was he going to do anything about it? You know what I mean?
So-
we're
we
all
just
way
kept
too
lying.
old to be doing that.
He kept
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah,
lying.
what was the joke? What was the appeal? Knocking on doors?
Just
we were
just
really
knock on
drunk.
doors,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure. It was
But you
just
didn't
a
have
night.
like a
knocking
line.
around.
It's not like a prank phone call where you have a story built
no,
up.
we were
it was
knocking
like
on
old
doors
fashioned. You know, I hate
and
to-
running
yeah.
away.
Yeah, it's just a knock
Oh,
on
is
door
this
and
the
run
same night you bust in that lady's house and slit her throat?
Yeah.
No, that was Tuesday.
No, that was Fuck. Speaking of, what are you guys doing tomorrow night?
away. She's in my basement. If you guys like, if you're into that,
Still
stuff.
have her?
All I know is
I can't let go of
She's
her.
in the formaldehyde tank.
Which is ironic because as I was telling Nick, they shut my power got shut off for about 24 hours. I paid it and got it
We'll see
fixed.
if this is ironic.
Well,
Continue.
because the refrigerator thawed and then froze back up, and it smells like death in my house. So the fact that I'm making this
The way you
crack about
phrased it
that-
on the way to the grocery store was, "It smells like dead baby."
Yeah. No, yeah.
Oh,
it
dead
really
baby
does
jokes.
smell like dead babies. And the funny part of that is I just should throw the dead baby away, but I like looking at it. It's
Dude,
such a cute one.
One of my favorite things about PJ is that when I fucking the other night at sports,
Yeah,
this
what
girl's
was
like,
this about?
this girl's like, "You have dead baby jokes? Go!" And so I told her like the 2 dead baby jokes I know, and then I text PJ. I was like, "All right, dude, I need dead baby jokes."
I'm in,
I know it's
I'm in
bad to know.
Seattle. I think we were recording, and I get a text from Red. I need dead baby jokes. And like I only
So was
know,
she cute?
She's pretty hot, yeah.
Yeah, and that was her go-to.
She was talking to this other dude, and she'd been.
I
there for a
need
while.
dead baby jokes.
Yeah, and they were
Go.
joking around about it. And
Go,
they were trying
Red,
to think
go.
of dead baby jokes, and I was like, the only ones I could think of was how to make a dead baby shake,
Yeah, I
and then
love
what's
that
the
one.
difference between a Cadillac and a pile of dead babies. So the only 2 I could think of.
The one I know is how do you how do you save a dead baby from drowning? You take your foot off its head.
Yeah.
The one I got from PJ was
what's,
so
what's
what's
classic.
black and white and red all over?
Yeah. What?
A nun with a sunburn. I don't get it. What are we doing? A nun with a sunburn.
Change the subject.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's
Yeah,
brown
rabbi
and
and a duck in a park. Go.
What's brown and sticky? A stick. Have you ever been camping? It's intense.
All right, Red. What was the other one? Wait, what was the one I sent you?
The one you sent me was, what's the difference between like a spilled truckload of dead babies and a spilled truckload of bowling balls.
Oh yeah.
Dead babies are easy to pick up with a pitchfork.
Yeah, I think that's the only
This is
one.
not.
I know.
This is.
I used to
I
know
like
a
the
lot
dead
of
baby
them,
shake
too.
one. Is the
I
best
feel like
one.
our show
Dead
is
Baby
better
Shake
than
is good.
this.
That's
don't you?
that's like as horrible as it is the best
Yeah.
joke. It's like, how do you make a dead baby shake? 2 scoops of ice cream and a dead baby.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
All
it's
right,
just
guys.
like-
We've had our fun. We've offended myriads and myriads of
Feeding
people.
Yeah.
Jews, slightly
All
black,
those poor dead
and
babies out there.
What have not we covered tonight? Wow.
It's gonna be like a glad. There's gonna be like a glad formation of dead babies that are like, I'm tired of being abused. As a dead baby, I'm gonna start a group, and we're gonna get some initiatives out there, and we're gonna actually get our rights back as dead babies.
And their president is.
We will not be laughed at anymore.
They're
Tired of being oppressed.
They're in heaven, and their president is that Kaylee Anthony girl,
Or Michael Jackson. Yeah.
or Lacey Peterson's unborn fetus. Who's the most famous dead baby? It's got to be John Benet Ramsey.
Yeah, I was gonna say
They
John
call her
Benet.
baby.
No, that's not a baby.
She was 10.
She was.
Well,
toddler.
then definitely Kaylee Anthony.
Yeah. Okay. What about the Lindbergh baby? Not
Yeah,
dead.
but
Still
that's-
alive.
Yeah, that's
No,
pretty big. Though.
but it was just kidnapped. They don't actually know if it ever died.
That's true.
Well, it's dead. They never got it back.
Probably is dead.
I think
I
the
don't even
baby
know the
was
story.
dead.
Speaking of dead babies,
That's
Yeah,
the
that's
only
the thing.
famous baby I know.
Everyone's got a Wikipedia that. Like the other one's way more.
Wikipedia.
famous. Yeah,
It's always correct.
it's a verb.
Never more greater information.
You know
than
that there was a
Wikipedia.
pretty good con that we told on a Lost episode, not the one where Ben
Hey, let's talk about
is
Lost.
Henry Gale, but where Nick got con too in Vegas buying some marijuana.
Oh, guys.
Okay, now was it marijuana or was it a hooker?
I wish, man. Nick won't even play $5 of blackjack when he goes to
Nick,
Vegas.
let's go fucking
He's-
strip clubbing, dude. That's what I want to do.
He doesn't want to
Oh,
go to
yeah.
Vegas
No.
Bring
anymore.
the microphones.
He's been there 6 times in a year, and he's never even gambled.
No, I was there 3 times in 1 year. 3 times in 1 year.
Wow.
So we when we went to Vegas, I went with 2 other friends, Robin and Margaret, future guests of the show, and former.
Yeah, one future, one former. And
and-
she will never be back.
As far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Margaret's out. But anyway, we were flying to Vegas just to go for the weekend. We'll get into more discussion about how I ended up in Vegas a 3rd time, even though I hated it the 1st and 2nd times. But yeah, we were coming there on the plane, so we didn't want to risk the marijuana factor, you know. But we're all big potheads, all 3 of us. And so, like, it was just a
Is
matter
there
of...
anything you can do for that? Does like dropping in a shampoo bottle work?
No, you got to stick it up your ass.
Well, then I got
The shampoo, it really depends. You can get away with it. Like what I would do is like,
Would you even risk it?
no, I've carried. I surprisingly brought weed to Mexico, which was silly because
Have you, Nick Orlando?
it grows like everywhere there.
But
And
it's shitty there.
It's $50 for a kilo, so it's $50 for 2.2 pounds. I was like, okay, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's shitty. It's seeds and stuff. It's commercial here. I mean, it's
Yeah.
nothing special. But I did. I just put it in a film canister and then wrapped it in plastic wrap or whatever, and put it in a shampoo bottle that was full. So it's full of shampoo. There's the bicorn again. I'm about to yell at these.
I thought
little
I
kids
was
just for the
hallucinating.
sake of argument.
It's just a little kid. I know this kid.
I
trust
know
me.
he's a neighbor, so I can't really like
Yeah.
holler
His
at him,
mom
but I
was
want
me.
You
it.
don't live here. You can
$5.
yell at him.
His mom owes me $5, and I want it fucking back.
Well, then
Yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
should go beat her kid for it then.
Actually, I'm okay with her owing me $5 because now, like, she just avoids me. Like, she's not going to come borrow $20 from me. You know what I mean? Like, $5.
How does your neighbor ask you for $5?
Oh, man, it happens all the time, I guess.
time.
Really?
All the
That's
time.
weird. Like I don't know if I would be
She's
like,
like 9 months pregnant.
hey, can I have
And
$5?
she's got a ton of kids already, right?
She's 9 months pregnant. She lives in her dad's 2-bedroom apartment with her husband and her 3 kids and her dad. Her 2 kids and
Oh, the dream life.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Dude, seriously,
no.
that's kind of bad. Like, don't get me wrong.
Oh, I
That's-
know, and
that sucks.
she's borrowed money, paid it back, but then borrowed again, and now owes you again. Yeah,
Yeah.
you should just avoid her now. Cause,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
I mean,
don't
she's
want her
avoiding
to.
you.
Once
Yeah,
bitten, twice shy.
And you know,
$5 is more.
regardless.
I'd say it was worth it.
Maybe it was
I
her
think
husband that
maybe
got
in her
$180
head,
out
it's
of you.
it's a little more justified this time because I didn't give her cash. I was like, you know what? I just scratched a scratch ticket and I won $5. You can have that.
Oh, there
You
you
go
go.
cash
Yeah.
it in. You know, why
Yeah.
don't you do something to
Yeah.
earn this
I
money?
would have wrote the bitch a check.
Take
Here.
a walk.
Because
Take
you
a
know,
walk.
You know what? If she does pay me back, like in the next couple of days, that's like quicker than I would have gone and cashed it in.
I know.
So really, like,
I've been hanging on to a $2 winner for about 3 weeks.
I
now.
know.
I'm like, I'm not.
like I could use the extra $5, but I'd rather wait until like I'm really down and out, and then that's almost a pack of cigarettes. You know what I mean? That with the quarters I have laying around the house is a pack of cigarettes.
I don't know. Scratch tickets have never appealed to me at all. Like I'm not at a gas station and be like, I want to get a scratch ticket. I don't know
Oh,
why.
I do. Lucky for life,
I
baby.
don't know that I've ever bought one, but people love. I worked at a gas station, and people love them some scratch tickets. Like
That's
they'll
insane.
sit there,
Crazy.
they'll
Yeah.
buy like $50 worth of tickets and just sit there and scratch them and redeem them,
Right
and
there
then
at the
go
counter.
again. Or sometimes they would go to their truck. Like
like
truckers
pull
are bigger
tabs.
than the scratch tickets. It
Yeah.
turns out.
I'm
And they'll
your-
just go out to their truck with like their
Yeah.
gross breakfast burrito, and then
Yeah.
come back and be like, "All right, man, this one did me good."
Yeah.
Well, you
I'm
know,
your
those guys
classic.
are probably thinking like, I can win like $100, hopefully, and like go to a really good strip club
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
I get to this next city. You know
Strip
what
clubs
I mean?
are awesome. Just so
Yeah.
we, for the record.
And I'll
You
eat
should
even
go to strip
cheaper than
clubs.
I usually do if I lose. You know, that's what it is.
I wish they put strip clubs in Yakima. That'd be awesome.
I
I was
really
gonna say,
don't.
why do you
think
live
so.
here if you love strip
I don't.
clubs so much?
I used to
Yeah.
live in Phoenix, dude. The fucking
I'm
some of the
against the
best
strip
strip
clubs.
clubs in
I like
the
strip
world.
clubs.
I
like strip
don't
clubs,
like
but-
them. I don't. They
I
make
think
me
they're a little awkward.
uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm
They are
actually
so
a little
uncomfortable.
You know what?
uncomfortable.
A
Those
huge,
girls
a
hassle
huge
you.
plus to go to strip clubs is if you actually like girls first, and then
I
then it's
love
a
the
bonus.
ladies. I don't know what you're accusing me of.
I
I love the
just-
ladies. I'm just. I can't talk to a girl that's got her ass in my face the first time that she's talking.
You're
to me,
really
man.
not supposed to talk to them. I'm just gonna
No,
throw that out there.
that's the thing though. Is the
Just
few
sit
times
there
I
and
go, they're
stare
like,
at her
"Oh,
ass.
he seems sweet," and then they want to like, well, by talk I mean try and hassle me into a dance.
Right.
A
And the
private
thing
dance.
is, I don't want to dance, and it's not because I'm so cheap. It's because like I'm uncomfortable now, but I'm enjoying this. That's just going to be uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
It's something.
I don't know,
You
dude.
can
I
get
It's
love
something about the
hottest girl
one-on-one.
ever.
Like you think, obviously, it should
I
be
would-
the hottest thing in the world.
I
but
would
it's not for
rather
me.
just sit here and watch them on stage.
Same here.
Kind of far
Same
away
here.
from me.
That's a strip club. Then that's nothing.
And,
Just
and
do
you know,
that.
and
Just go sit up
I
by
don't
the
know.
stage.
I've
Dude,
only
I've been
been-
yelled at by a stripper who was like, we make our money by giving these dances, like implying that she was mad.
Yeah, where
that
were
we
you?
were
Tacoma?
sitting-
Did you
that
just
we
say
were-
you're?
Tacoma?
I just paid
Yeah.
$9 for a beer. Why don't you hit up your bartender for some tips?
Yeah,
you
no
kidding me?
That's
Tacoma,
the other
you
thing.
Can't even drink a
Yeah,
beer.
I've been to 2 strip clubs with this guy, and yeah, you can't even drink alcohol. So like, there's
Oh,
nothing
you
there
guys-
to ease my
No,
pain.
dude. You at the full nude ones, like where they're fully nude on stage, you can't drink there. But like, I don't really want to see a stripper pussy anyway. Like,
Yeah,
don't get
but-
me wrong.
yeah,
it's
I
gonna
guess
be,
the other thing is
I don't
know
imagine
of
that
too
being
many.
very nice.
Like I know there's probably more than the couple I've been to in Tacoma, but I don't know nor necessarily want to go see the girls. I'm talking about like a Deja Vu where you can count on like a couple really good-looking girls that night.
Nah, see,
Deja
the
vu.
ones
You can't
the ones in
drink there.
Phoenix were there was like one that was owned by Penthouse. It was the Penthouse Strip Club, and that was badass. You always had hot girls there, ridiculous hot, and we'd always go sit up in VIP. And this is after I made a shit ton of cash the night before or something, and we'd go in and drop like $300, but it was a fucking good time, and you get some hot ass girls dancing on you. And that was fun, dude. And you get, but
How
you
is
go
that
in-
fun?
No,
I
this
just
is
like it. I don't know.
frustrating.
It's a good
This is my
time.
question now, and I think I already know the answer a little bit, but at least half of the answer. But have you ever, or would you ever, go home with a stripper like that
See, that's the
night?
thing is like that would be a hard choice because it would be great sex, but then I'd have like Dr. Bill after Dr. Bill after Dr. Bill.
That's,
after
Exactly,
that's
yeah.
not necessarily
So, like-
true, but are we talking about you go home with them for free or they told you I'm a whore?
Like an escort. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
see, that's a
Yeah.
different story. Like,
But,
no, I
so
would
what
never. I
situation
would never
would
actually
pay for it,
pay for
but-
sex. I
Oh.
pay for a girl to be naked and
Yeah,
dance on me.
I love your optimism. I love your optimism that like, if this stripper asks you to go
Yeah,
home
yeah.
with her
Yeah, she was like,
and just
hey.
fuck her
It happens
for
all the time,
free.
guys. It happens all the time.
I'm assuming, but
Honestly, dude, I swear
You
to
can
God,
be
it
further
really,
away from your
like,
mic.
I can be far away.
No,
No,
get,
you
get up on
cannot
it.
be further away
Simmer down.
if you tried.
But that's I don't know. That's
All right.
but there was I don't know. There was a couple. There was one time. It was this girl I was dating in Phoenix that loved going to the strip club, and that was pretty hot. Too.
That's
Like,
nice
we'd
when you
go
have a
in and like
girlfriend, yeah.
she'd get the girl. There
I
was
don't
this
know, I'm
one
so
girl
into
that
that.
loved her to death, dude. We'd go in and she'd get free dances all night because that girl was making a ton of money. She's dancing on another girl, then she gets like 9 other guys that want to have a dance from her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was kind of cool too. But it was it
They
got
used
a
to
little
have
weird.
a shower show at the Deja Vu.
Yeah.
I
What does a
remember-
shower show
I
consist of?
remember this.
I would assume
girl.
naked girls in showers. This
This girl.
PJ's having a stripper memory. Come on,
They,
guys.
they shave their legs in the shower,
In the shower show?
They shaved it.
Not that
doesn't-
hot.
They
yeah, that
shaved
doesn't
their
seem
pussies
erotic
in
to me.
that shower.
Okay,
Did it
shaving,
not-
shaving
okay,
your
wait.
pussy, maybe.
Was it
Maybe, but
was
still,
it a
They
girl
are
shaving her pussy,
s-
or was it a one girl shaving another girl's pussy?
Yeah,
Good
I
question.
guess that too. I'm guessing that these were razors without blades in them, because God forbid we see some blood.
Blood in the shower. Yeah.
Most of us
That's
aren't
true,
going to
that's
tip
true.
you,
Yeah.
because they would like walk through. They'd be like, "All right, we're having another shower show with this girl." I'd be like, "Oh my God, that girl was on the stage. She was fucking hot. I can see her again." So you go in there with all the other guys. It's like, how many guys can you?
That's the thing is with all the other guys. That's what throws me off.
It's like we're each trying to, like, we're all of a sudden math geniuses. We know just where to sit, where we're the furthest away possible from the next guy. And it's just gross. And then they send around a cup at the end of it. Like, oh, this is for the
Is it
two
for like your
girls.
masturbation juices? For the cup?
Yeah.
Like here, just
It's
squirt
like
it
a
in this.
collection plate
Eight
for
guys,
That's
one
the
church.
cup.
thing.
Eight guys, one cup.
But I've been to a place in Seattle where you can look at a girl through the window and you can jerk off.
Yeah.
You can jerk off right then and there.
They have tissues on the wall.
She might be less attractive, but you can jerk off right there. You know
That
what I
being
mean?
said, okay, so we talked about this in a previous episode with the three of us about the
How do we
about-
keep coming back to this?
Well, no, about the coffee stands, the brulesque, the
Oh, sure,
Moulin
sure.
Brew, and all this shit, right? So I had some friends from Bellingham that came over.
Moulin
and they
Brew has the
visited.
hottest girls in Yakima, just so you know.
I don't
Where's
know.
that one?
Yeah, there's one of them. Anyway.
it's
Anyway.
called
Yeah.
Moulin Brew.
It's
yeah,
called
it's
Moulin
on
Brew.
First Street. It's across the street
Down
from
by
Best
the
Buy.
mall.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so
Plug.
this girl that I knew
In
from
Ellensburg is the Java Jigglers.
Yeah, Java Jinglers. I think that's a pretty good, clever name. Fuck it, assholes. Anyway, there's some cowboy burlesque type of place in Seattle, or it was in Bellevue. And a girl I knew, she goes to this. Ironically enough, it's right next to her place where she works, and so she goes there for coffee every day. And one day, there was 3 cars in line, and it took 25 minutes to sit in line to go up.
Mm-hmm.
And normally it takes about 5 minutes. So she gets up to the front of the line finally. She goes, really? Like, what the hell took so long? Oh, this guy jacked off and paid me $25 so he could jack off, and I just sat and talked dirty to him. I didn't have to touch him or anything. I just sat and talked dirty to him. I'm like, really? Like,
See, I
that's
don't
so
know if
crazy.
that's
How do you
possible.
even ask a barista
How do you
that?
even get off at that point? Like, yeah, you look really hot right now. You mind if I just
Yeah,
rub
like
one
she
out?
doesn't even take her top off.
The best part of waking up, rubbing a one out at the
And
coffee
then-
stand. I gotta go to work. Hold
As
on.
a former barista,
all right.
current hooker, why would
Yeah.
you just be sharing that information
I know.
willy-nilly
So
with
third
the
one,
car?
Yeah, his truck broke down. I mean, you got to give something. But she's like, oh no, he just rubbed one out, and I just like touched myself and talked dirty to him. Sorry for the wait. Like, really?
Moulin Brew, right?
Yeah, dude.
I might do that.
Yeah.
You got to go down to
There's
Moulin.
one girl who's
The good
hot.
thing about Moulin Brew, there's like 3 of them there that are
She's gonna have to take
smoking
her
that
top
I
off
know.
for me.
I'm not into the blonde one. She's all right,
she's
but
so
she's
hot.
got the freckles. I think
You
she's
guys
cute, but
stopped
she looks
there?
like a freak. No, I just know
I-
2 of them.
I
I
always
know a
thought
couple of them.
I wouldn't want to own a coffee shop like that because that's where certain people aren't gonna go.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude,
like I
they're
could
the busiest
never
coffee
go
stands
to
in
one of
town,
those.
hands down.
Yeah, believe
the
it
girl
or
I
not.
know
I know.
will
They have
work
the
like a
worst fucking
4-hour
coffee.
shift, and she'll make like $160.
Someone like me is definitely in the minority, but I just can't go drive through.
I think it's
And
a big
stare at
cover.
some
I
chick.
think there's
Right.
a lot of shitty coffee in Yakima, and they got to get rid of it, and none of the coffee stands will do it. And so they're like, I have an idea. Let's bring out the bikini-clad
naked girls
girls,
in there.
and let's get rid of this shit. I can make a profit off this really crappy coffee.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, ultimately, if I'm
I
gonna
really
go
have
a
to do it
coffee
to even
stand-
keep up now. At
Yeah.
least in this town.
I think
This town is an all right town
For an uptight town.
like this town.
We'll be releasing part 2 of this conversation this weekend, so stay tuned. Spoiler alert, Red cuts off Nick's hand and tells him he's his father.